Hey, legends! It's your boy Chronos, back with another epic, what-if adventure. Today, we're diving into What if Deku was trained by the King of Fighting? Part 1. Imagine our favorite hero, Deku, learning from the absolute best in the world of combat. This is going to be mind-blowing, but first, massive shout-out to Hero Lover 27, the incredible author behind this story. Thanks for your amazing creativity, and hey, I can't thank you enough for your continuous support, legends. Let's smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that bell to stay updated with all the latest uploads. It was a typical day for the quirkless teen known as Ituka Midoriya, running away from his bullies as fast as his legs could carry him. He didn't understand why they always picked on him, only him. All he ever did was say that he wanted to be a hero in class. Sure, they made fun of him for his dreams. That didn't mean they also had to beat him. It was even worse as Katsuki was the one picking on him. Katsuki and Ituka were once friends, but that all changed when they were age 4. Bakugo got a marvelous quirk while Ituka was left quirkless. Katsuki became powerful while Ituka became his punching bag, a Deku as the mean teen would say, an insult to his name, meaning the one who can't do anything. After running for so long, Ituka found himself in an alleyway. His legs burned and he had lost his bearings during his attempted escape. His bullies appeared to have vanished, so that was good. Or so he thought. Well, Deku, I'll admit you're fast on your feet, but playtime's over, Katsuki said in a menacing voice. His other two allies had also caught up by now. They seemed out of breath but were still ready for a beatdown. Ituka backed against the wall, his body froze, too scared to defend himself. Katsuki grabbed Deku by the collar and shoved him against the wall. So, little Deku still thinks he can be a hero, huh? Bakugo said as volcanic explosions formed on his free hand. I take back what I said, catch dash. Ituka was interrupted by a punch to the face. I said never call me that. Bakugo spat at the green-haired freak. I'm sorry, Deku replied, tears forming in his eyes. Geez, Bakugo, do we really have to do this? One of his friends asked, a little confused as to why they had to bully this quirkless all the time. There's no fun in bullying someone like. Quit it, you extra, Bakugo yelled back. We have to teach Deku here a lesson. On cue, Bakugo sent his right knee flying into Deku's stomach. Ituka coughed as his body dropped to the floor with a thud. The group ganged up on him, striking him anywhere they could. Deku was unable to utilize any means to defend himself, he just laid there being kicked. They, unfortunately, had quirks that could cause some serious damage, whilst he possessed nothing. He was just a punching bag for the strong. Deku refused to be a mere punching bag his whole life. Deku wanted to be strong, all might levels of strong. But there was absolutely no possible way that he could. Without a quirk, the ground was where Deku belonged. It was useless to resist. Modern society deemed him useless for anything, no matter what he did or how hard he desperately tried. A quirkless, useless, fragile person like him would always be society's punching bag. Why even bother at life at this point? Perhaps it'd be best if he just died. The only person who would care is his mother. There was his dad, but he's always overseas working, never there when his son dearly needed him. Then again, who would sincerely care for a pathetic, quirkless, unimportant person? Even if they are your son? Despite being spaced out for a bit, Deku's mind had been brought back to reality by a small explosion to the face. His body was now covered in bruises and ached. Bakugo was towering over him, making sure that he stayed down. Just give it up, Deku. All you will ever be in life is a pebble and no matter dash. Excuse me. A figure interrupted Bakugo as he was talking down to Deku. The three bullies turned to face the voice that had interrupted Bakugo. He was tall, muscular, and had dark black hair. The anonymous stranger also wore a casual jogging outfit. Listen, man, I don't know who you are, but how about you run if you know what's good for you? Bakugo said in a confident tone. However, the unknown stranger did something that surprised all of them. He laughed. After what felt like forever, his hearty laugh ended. The man continued, It's common for the weak to think they are strong. The group of boys was shocked and confused at what the man said. Did this unknown extra call Bakugo weak? How was that even possible? Bakugo has an extraordinary quirk, not to mention his insane intellect. How could anyone call him weak? There was only one emotion that Bakugo was feeling right now, pure, unfiltered, blood-boiling rage. You piece of shit! I'll show you who's a weakling. Let's fight it out right now. Bakugo stopped standing over Deku and faced his new opponent, hands ready to throw fireballs. The man put both of his hands up saying, Sorry kid, I don't fight anymore. That sentence made Bakugo's anger turn from a burning fire into a world-ending volcanic eruption. This fucker who doesn't fight claims that he was weak? The teen launched himself at the intruder, using his quirk, Bakugo quickly closed the distance between them. Bakugo was about to throw a left punch, but soon found his back against the hard concrete floor. He felt no attack of any kind hit him, so how did he fall on the ground? Getting up, Bakugo threw a right, only to fall face first on the ground. What the hell is going on? Bakugo asked himself. This was the first time in his life that the blonde had no idea what was happening. I told you you're weak, the man stated with calm composure. However, Bakugo wasn't the only one attacking. Behind him, the boy with sharp teeth attempted to launch a bite at him. His attempt failed when the man put 2 fingers on one of his teeth and yanked. The boy screamed in pain as blood poured from his mouth. The long-fingered boy watched in terror as his friends were beaten with little effort. You bastard! We'll call the cops on you! The kid threatened, trying his best to act brave. Oh, and what will you tell them? The stranger asked. Because, from the looks of it, it seems that you attacked both this boy and me first. Also, 2 of you tried to use your quirks on me, which is illegal. So, let me ask you again, how are the police going to respond to that? Everyone stood in silent shock. In only a few minutes the man had utterly defeated them. Amazing! Was all Midoriya could form. Why you dash? Drop it! Bakugo commanded. The 2 Kobalis turned their heads toward him as the blonde was getting back up. As much I hate this bastard, he's right, Bakugo said. He went back to his cronies before saying, You just got lucky, you bastard. The man turned to the young teen, telling him, In a fight, there is no such thing as luck. Remember that, Sparky Fist. Those words just made Bakugo grow further into a rage. To everyone's surprise, Katsuki simply replied with, Fuck you. Before walking away with his goons, the man turned to face Izuku. Izuku, on the other hand, was still shocked by the fact that Kaken had been beaten. Hey kid! Izuku turned his head to face his savior. Are you alright? Izuku had a black eye and brushes all across his body. Luckily that was all, no broken bones. Ah yes, thank you, sir. Midoriya gratefully thanked as he bowed his head down. What's your name, kid? Midoriya Izuku S, sir. He stuttered, still a little banged up from the beating. Well then, Izuku, there's no need to thank me. The man was about to leave when Midoriya cried. Wait, I need to ask you something. The man turned back to face the kid. How were you able to do that? Midoriya asked. You have to be more specific. The man said. When Kaken tried to attack you, you placed your palm right against his chin. That was what caused him to slip, right? Yeah, it was. The man was amazed by this boy. When he did that move, his hand had moved faster than the human eye could track, yet this boy saw it. That is correct. I reversed the speed at which the boy was going. Remember this, kid, the faster someone goes, the more fragile they become. The man said. Thanks, I'll keep that in mind. Izuku took out a notebook and pen and started to write things down. One more thing, that kick you did to knock Kaken down. I saw you specifically aim at his foot. Is there a reason why? Yes, there is. Footwork is very important in a battle. It controls your balance and if done well, can add power to your punches. Thank you, sir, I will take note of that, Izuku said. If that is true, then that could apply to a hero like Maruko who uses her legs to attack. Or someone like Seal who often bounces around in a fight. The boy kept on mumbling on and on about what quirks could work best with different kinds of footwork and potential ways to counter said footwork. The man was impressed. He just said one sentence about footwork, and the boy was written pages full of info. The man had a long experience in fighting, with many scars hiding in his clothing. Yet this kid had something he had never seen before, an unknown potential that was waiting to be released. I was wondering, Midoriya, why were those kids picking on you? The man asked. The boy looked down on the ground, not wanting to answer that question. You're quirkless, aren't you? The boy continued to look down on the ground. That makes sense, quirkless people are often treated like trash, the man said. He saw that the kid's spirits were already being lowered. It seemed like he had stepped on a mental landmine. The man hadn't seen many quirkless people in his lifetime. Well, there was one person he knew who once was quirkless, but he didn't like looking back on bad memories. Sir, can I ask you a question? Izuku asked. Sure, the man replied. Can someone as weak as I become as strong as you? Izuku asked, desperation leaking through his eyes, along with tears. The man knew that his answer could have an impact on this boy's life. Honesty, the man said. I can't answer that question. Oh, Izuku said as he lowered his head. But you can, the man said. What? Midoriya asked in confusion. His words seemed contradictory. If you want to get on my level, then you have to work hard to get there. However, I don't mean just push-ups and sit-ups. I mean the work that would make hell sympathize with you. I'm talking about running when your legs are broken and bruised. Use a punching bag when your wrists and hands are broken, and when your hands are beyond damaged, use your teeth to pick up weights. That's what I mean. Midoriya was shocked by the man's words. That kind of training could kill someone, and he's expected to do that? Well, that's just my answer, the man said. He was about to leave when the boy asked him a question that would change his life forever. Please teach me, Izuku yelled out. The man turned around to face the boy. What did you just say? He asked. Can you please teach me? Izuku asked. The man had never expected to hear those words from the timid youngster. The man walked up to Izuku only for him to say one word. No, the man firmly stated. The world shattered for Izuku. What? He mumbled. I can't train you, the man said. Why not? Izuku asked. First of all, you're a good kid. If I put you through the hellish training I just described, then you would probably die in the process. Izuku wheezed a little at the mention of death. Secondly, if you did survive on some of the early training, you'd probably quit after the second week. Most sane people do. Finally, I'm not just going to help some random kid I just met. If you want me to train you, you are gonna have to prove to me that you can handle it. That was all the man had to say before he left the boy and continued on his jog. Izuku was baffled. How was he supposed to prove himself? He had no quirk or any remarkable talent to speak of. So how could he prove himself to that man? That man was strong enough to pull teeth out with 2 fingers. What feat could impress a man like that? He could do some training to get a six-pack. No, that would require regular training, nothing like what the man said. He needed to do something extraordinary. Izuku was currently walking along a path that was new to him. Due to those bullies, he had lost his whereabouts and had to use street signs to navigate home. However, while walking along this new route, Izuku saw something weird. It was something that shouldn't be there. Something that shouldn't exist. But it gave Izuku a bright idea. This is perfect, he cried to himself. 5 months later, the man woke up later than most people. He had no job, so most of the time slept in late. It wasn't because he didn't want a job. In fact, no job wanted to hire him. The man didn't go to high school for personal reasons. He also didn't have a job besides that. However, there was no way any company would hire him knowing he did those things. So, despite his constant job interviews, he always received the same response: rejected. To be honest, he didn't need a job. In fact, as long as he was the only one who had access to his bank account, then he should be perfectly fine financially for at least 20 years. But he didn't like to use that money. Especially because he earned it from his old job. He really didn't like his old job. It wasn't a good time in his life. After getting up from a long nap, the man did what he usually did. Find breakfast, usually fish. It was an odd trait that the man inherited from his sensei. Plus, with a pretty famous fishing spot nearby, it was pretty cost-efficient. Grabbing his only fishing rod and putting on some clothes, the man went out to hunt his food. It wasn't a long walk, mainly because he lived in the woods. The house that he currently lives in was once a dojo but was long abandoned. It was strange, in some ways that old dojo reminded him of his sensei's temple. However, there were way more differences than similarities. The man had finally reached his usual spot after about 10 minutes of walking. After placing some bait on the hook, the man cast his line out to the pond and sat down, waiting for the fish to come. On his arm, there was something strange attached. It was a pair of weights. Not just on the arms, but the legs as well. At first, they looked normal. However, each of them weighed about 1 ton each. Meaning that the man was currently holding 4 tons of force and was walking around like it was normal. To put it in perspective, that was the weight of a hot tub. After a few minutes, the man was finally able to catch a fish. It wasn't very big, but it was good enough for a light breakfast. He made a small fire. He didn't have an oven at home. The man silently ate his breakfast. Since he had no utensils either, he just ate it with his bare hands. When he was finished, the man went back home. After a failed job interview, he decided that a good old-fashioned jog would help clear his mind. Usually, he would just go around 3 cities, but today, he was going to jog the whole country of Japan. To most that would seem like an impossible task, but the man had seen and performed things most people wouldn't even believe in. Something like this was nothing. After running a few miles, the man encountered a surprisingly clean beach. This came off as a surprise not because the beach was clean, but because it shouldn't be clean. He remembered a few months ago, there was heaps of garbage. Garbage that spread for miles. How in the world could such a mess be cleaned? The man slowly observed the beach. Besides a few pieces of trash, it was perfectly clean. The man did not remember any promotion for cleanup, so either a small group of people cleaned this up, or a single person. If it was the latter, who would do such a difficult task and why? Was it out of kindness, or were they trying to prove something? After a whole minute of observation, the man found the culprit of the cleanup. It was the kid he saved 5 months ago. His name was Izuku Midoriya. The man wasn't very good with names. The man also didn't expect this boy to accomplish something like this. When he last saw the boy, he was a scrawny twig. But now the boy was way different. Midoriya had gained a 4-pack, most likely because of all this trash he was hauling. Midoriya was probably working out as well to get more muscle. Basically, this kid wasn't the same as he was 5 months ago. Midoriya was currently trying to move a truck that was stuck in the water. Despite his new strength, he couldn't move the vehicle a few inches. That was until the man picked up the truck and back-tossed it into the pile of garbage behind him. Midoriya at first was surprised by both the man being here and the fact that the man threw a massive truck so easily. "Sir, what are you doing here?" Midoriya asked. "I was out doing a jog," the man replied. "Why did you do this?" asked the man. "Well, remember when you said you'll only train me if I can prove myself?" Midoriya said. The man was shocked. "You're telling me that you cleaned this whole beach, just to prove a point?" the man said. Ituka just nodded. The man sat down on the sand and for some peculiar reason, started to laugh. He laughed like a man. He laughed so much that it even creeped Midoriya out. Eventually, he stopped and stood back up. "Midoriya, do you have school tomorrow?" the man asked. "Yes, sir," Midoriya responded. "All right, meet me by Yago Park after school then," the man said as he started to leave. "Why?" Midoriya asked. "Why? I thought you wanted me to teach you," the man asked with a cheeky grin. Midoriya's face grew from shock to a simple smile. "All right, sensei," Midoriya said. "I have a name, you know," the man replied with a smile. "I'm sorry. But what is your name?" "It's Shina Senshi," the man said. "All right, Senshi sensei," Midoriya said, donning a proud look. "Just call me Senshi," the man said. Ituka arrived at Yago Park right after he left school, excitement coursing through his body. Today is the first day of training under his new sensei. The only other time he has ever felt this joyous was when the new All Might merchandise came out. However, his excitement ended rather suddenly when he found his sensei sleeping under a sakura tree. The only reason Midoriya recognized the mask as Senshi was because the man was built like a skyscraper. Then again, if you were as big as All Might, it would be pretty hard to not be the buffest person in an area. "Sensei, sensei!" Midoriya repeatedly cried as he shook his new teacher violently. The man eventually woke up with a groan. All right, I'm awake." His eyes fluttered open. "And don't call me sensei, it's Senshi." "Well, Senshi and sensei are only one letter apart," Midoriya explained. "You're lucky you're right, otherwise I would have thrown this tree at you," Senshi complained. "What, why?" Midoriya fell on the ground. He panicked at the threat. "Forget it, I was only joking," Senshi said with another hearty laugh. This one was shorter than his previous minute-long laugh. "Well, before you get started, there are 2 things that need to be done. First, tell me, why do you so badly want me to train you?" Senshi asked. Midoriya replied with a determined look. "I want to go to U.A, so I can be a hero just like All Might. Someone who makes people feel calm in danger with a smile on their face just like All Might." "Just like All Might, huh? He's reminding me more and more of you, Yagi." "Alright then, onto the second thing you need to know. If you want me to train you, you'll have to promise me one thing. You must only use it for self-defense." "Could you please explain what classifies as self-defense?" Midoriya asked. It was a term that could vary depending on person to person. "Alright, say someone tries to attack you or someone personal to you, then you can defend yourself. However, you must never be the one who starts the fight. The moment you provoke you to fight you, then this whole thing is over. I will immediately stop training you, got it?" Midoriya nodded, affirming. "Yeah, I got it. Good, now we shall begin the first lesson?" Senshi hit the tree with his right hand, causing leaves to fall down. With a sudden movement from his left hand, Senshi quickly grabbed some leaves before they even hit the ground. He then asked Midoriya, "What did I just do?" Midoriya thought about what to say before. "When the leaves fell, you extended your arm and pulled back after grabbing a leaf. Was I right?" "Yeah, that's it. That was called a jab, a boxing technique." Boxing, a martial art that only uses punching. The first ever recorded boxing match occurred in 1681 in Britain. It has since become a worldwide sport, has a spot in the Summer Olympics. "I have a quick question. Why are you teaching me boxing first?" Midoriya asked. "Well, I believe that it would be best to start with boxing first. That is mainly because punches are used most often in a fight if done well. Boxing could even be strong enough to go against mixed martial artists who incorporate kicks." "Wow. I never knew that," Midoriya said. "Now try to do what I just did," Senshi commanded. Midoriya tried to take the same position, however, instead of using his left he used his right. "Wrong!" Senshi shouted. "Are you right-handed or left-handed?" "Right," Midoriya stated, stretching out his right hand. "Then use your left hand. Your dominant hand can generate more power, So use your left as a quick jab before we get to the next technique, which uses your right. All right, Midoriya replied, putting his left fist further out from his body than his right. The boy then attempted his first jab. Okay, a little slow, but it's your first time. Senshi paused for a minute, thinking. All right, I have an assignment for you, Senshi said. Try to get 10 leaves before they reach the ground by using the jab. You have 1 week. Midoriya was shocked. 1 week? Is that really the right amount of time? It seems pretty simple to me. Trust me, 1 week is me showing you a heap of generosity. Also, if you don't do it by then, you'll have to do 300 push-ups. 300! Midoriya exclaimed, his jaw dropping. Yep, so get to it, Midoriya, Senshi said as he began to take his leave. Wait a minute! Where are you going, sensei? Midoriya asked. Oh right, I forgot to say this, but I have to go somewhere today. I'll see you in a week. Make sure you keep practicing that jab. Will do, Midoriya said as he waved his teacher goodbye. Midoriya only had the tree to accompany him now. All right, let's do this. Midoriya kicked the tree, causing some leaves to fall. Midoriya instantly tried doing the jab again, but only got 2 leaves. Dang it, well it was my first try again. Midoriya kicked the tree and continued to do the jab until nightfall. Come on! Why can I only get 2 leaves? Izuku internally screamed at himself. Am I doing something wrong? It's getting really late, and my mom is probably worried about me. Izuku picked up his bag and went home. After a quick train ride, Izuku found himself home. Mom, I'm home, he called out to the house. Izuku! Where were you? Do you know how late it is? His mother's words flowed quickly. Really quickly, so fast that she could probably beat Senshi in terms of speed when it comes to talking. I'm sorry, Mom, I was training at Jaka Park, Izuku responded. Training? She exclaimed, kinda shocked. What kind of training were you doing there? Well, I'm trying to do this boxing move called the jab. Midoriya continued to tell his mother all that he learned today. However, Inko stopped listening. It was not because she did not care. It was because she saw something in his eyes she had not seen in years. Happiness that all ended when he was 4. She tried her best as a mother to make him as happy as she could, but nothing worked. Inko didn't know what in the world happened to make him smile like that. The mother didn't really care, for now, she was just happy to see her son so animated once more. Okay, Izuku, I'm going to make some katsudon, Inko said. Mom, you know I'm on a diet, Izuku replied. I'm sure once in a while isn't so bad, Inko replied, already nearly at the stove. No matter how hard Izuku tried, he could never win an argument with his mom, so eventually gave up and decided to eat the katsudon. After dinner, the teen rushed through his homework. Despite being a second year, Izuku was as smart as a high schooler. However, Izuku was only second place in his class in terms of grades. That title belonged to Katsuki. No matter how hard Izuku studied, it seemed almost pointless due to that other teen's natural talents. Anyway, after finishing his homework, Izuku returned to his practicing of the jab. Should I expand my arm more? No, that wouldn't work. Maybe I should go in shorter and faster? Would that work, or would that be less effective? Guess we'll find out. 1 week later, Shina Senshi had just failed another job interview. This was most likely his 9th one in a row. He lost count after the 5th. How was it even possible to fail to get a job as a janitor? Maybe that was just his bad luck. It was probably because of how he looked. However, that was not his fault. That was just how his body matured. Then again, they probably thought he was some muscle over brains kind of person. Okay, there are a lot more people smarter than him, but he did have knowledge under his belt. No point looking back on the past, you should only look ahead. His sensei always told him that. Anyway, Shina Senshi snapped back to reality as he arrived at Jaka Park. There was a large duffel bag in his hands. Senshi had to go through hell and back to get this equipment. The large man hoped it was all worth it. However, that did not depend on him, that depended on Midoriya. If Izuku succeeded, then it would all be worth it. If not, then Senshi would have to go back to hell to return the items. Senshi hoped the latter wasn't the case. Speaking of which, Senshi had finally found Midoriya. Midoriya was sitting down by the tree, with a large pile of leaves around him. The tree he was beside by had only 8 leaves left. Damn, he did more training than I thought, Senshi said in his head. Well, I admit, you surprised me again, but let's see if that all pays off, Senshi says. He crouched down, saying, since there aren't enough leaves left on the tree, let's do something different. Senshi picked up some leaves with his hand and held them high above his head. The moment I drop these leaves, you will catch 10 of them before they hit the ground. Got it? Senshi asked. Midoriya stood up. Yeah. I've got this. Izuku took up his casual boxing stance, left hand in front of the right. So, he's improved his stance. That's good, Senshi said in his head. After a few seconds, Senshi dropped all the leaves in his hand. Midoriya's left hand shot out like a bullet. First jab, 2 leaves. Second jab, 4 leaves now. Third, 6 leaves now. Then came the fourth jab. Midoriya now had 8 leaves. However, the leaves were already reaching the floor. Suddenly, Midoriya pulled his right arm back and performed an uppercut. Midoriya now had 12 leaves. So, instead of a jab, you performed an uppercut to grab the remaining leaves off the ground. Senshi noted. Yeah, is that wrong? Izuku asked. No, I'm just surprised that you could do such a move this early, Senshi said. Well, that's good, now on to next step of your training, Senshi said as he kneeled down and opened the bag that he brought with him. I had to go through hell and back to get these items. Midoriya took a look inside and saw that it was full of boxing gear, boxing gloves, mitts, and even a pair of boxing shoes. All you could name were in the bag. Put these on, Senshi said as he handed Midoriya hand wraps. It had instructions on it, allowing Midoriya to put both of them on with ease. After wrapping his fists, Senshi gave Izuku some boxing gloves. Put these on as well, Senshi said. They were typical red boxing gloves, with the exception that they were 12 ounces. Despite that, Midoriya put them on with no hesitation. At the same time, Senshi was putting on some training mitts. Alright, just hit the hits using the jab or uppercut, Senshi said as he holds out his mitts near his chest. Midoriya took his boxing stance. Midoriya then uses a left jab, hitting one of the mitts, making a strange sound. Hey, that was a good punch. You can tell by the way it sounded. Keep on doing some more, Senshi said. Midoriya smiled by the man's compliment. Thank you, sensei, Midoriya replied as he continued to hit the mitts. I told you not to call me that, Senshi shot back, taking another blow to his left hand. I am sorry. Though you've never told me why I can't call you that, Midoriya said. Personal reasons. I'll tell you later. I also got a question for you as well, Midoriya. How old are you? Senshi said. My age? Well, I'm 13 and I'm a second year in middle school, Midoriya answered. So, you're a middle schooler, and yet you're this determined to be a hero? Senshi asked, placing his hand ready for an uppercut. Yep, being a hero has always been my dream, Izuku replied, throwing an uppercut to the mitt. A moment later, Senshi threw one of his mitts at Izuku's head. Ow! Izuku complained as he backed off. What was that for? He asked. You think a villain is going to stand around while you beat them? You need to be able to dodge, especially something as easy as that. A single punch could spell defeat if you're not careful, Senshi explained. I have to dodge and attack at the same time? Midoriya asked, slightly puzzled by the contradictory words that Senshi also likes. Correct now. Dodge! Senshi shouted. He attacked with his right hand this time. However, Izuku barely dodged the punch by about a hair's length. Faster! Senshi commanded. I'm going slow, but a villain won't hold back. They'll go full force against you. The teacher picked up the pace, holding his left mitt for Izuku to attack and occasionally tossing a punch with his right. Midoriya was closely observing him. He noticed that whenever his sensei attacked, he'd always put his arm back. Midoriya didn't know if it was intentional or not. However, he decided to use this fact to his advantage. When Senshi pulled back his left arm and swung, Midoriya seemed to phase through it and threw another punch himself. Izuku used a powerful right jab, aimed at the right mitt. The impact created a much louder sound compared to before. Hey, do you know what you just did? Senshi asked his pupil, ceasing the exercise for the time being. Senshi's words confused Midoriya. Oh, I did a jab, was Midoriya's response. No, rookie, you did much more than just a jab, Senshi said. You performed a counter. Counter, Midoriya mumbled in confusion. A counter is the act of striking as the opponent attacks. When that happens, your attack gains more strength. This is because you're using two major factors. One, the fact that the opponent is unguarded, and two, the opponent's momentum. When you counter, you are using the opponent's push against them, thus doubling the amount of power in your strike. It's a very powerful move that can only be used in a rare opportunity, but can quickly end a fight. Senshi explained. Wow, do you think I could master the counter? Midoriya asked. Yes, but doing so requires knowing exactly when to perform such a move, Senshi replied. However, it would be good for someone who doesn't have a lot of strength in their attacks. So, a hero like Crust who doesn't have a lot of physical strength could use the counter against someone stronger than him? Midoriya asked, finally starting to get a grasp on the move. Exactly, you're getting it, Senshi replied. Now let's switch on to something different. Senshi went to the duffel bag and took out a pen and a notebook. Let's see, I would say 100 push-ups a day, 3-mile running or jogging however you prefer, 150 jumping jacks, and finally 200 sit-ups. Do this every day from now on, Senshi jotted down. Also, I have something to give to you. In the duffel bag, Senshi gave Midoriya a handful of DVDs. Each one was labeled something like Ali vs. Frazier, or Tyson vs. Holyfield. Those are some boxing matches that I recommend you watch. The ones with blue stripes are the ones I recommend you watch first. The red ones are after you watch the blue ones. Those are the more experienced matches. I want you to observe how they fight and take note of their techniques. Senshi advised. Are you sure that's the best choice? I only know 3 moves so far. Midoriya responded. Midoriya, when we first meet you had a notebook filled with hero tactics and techniques, correct? Senshi asked. Well yes, but this is way different dash. No, it's not. Senshi responded with a small smile. Just by looking at me once you were able to know what I did and applied it to others. That is not something anyone could do. You have talent. Make sure you use it well. Midoriya was shocked at his teacher's words. No one had ever said anything positive about his notebooks or his note-taking skills. Everyone had made fun of his notebooks to the point where Izuku was embarrassed to show it off to anyone. However, Izuku did not feel that way now. Now, he was proud to have his hero journals. I will sensei, Midoriya said. I told you to stop calling me that. Senshi yelled. Nighttime. Alright, homework's done and I'm done with my workout. Let's watch these videos, Midoriya was thinking as he put the DVDs in his computer. Oh, so he's using his footwork to distract his opponent. Neat. Oh my god, he just got punched out of the ring. Come on, Joe. Beat him with everything you got. Come on, IPPO. You can beat Sendo. How did Kariga lose? Izuku, what are you doing? Inko asked. Izuku turned to his mother, who for some reason was wearing pajamas. I'm just watching some videos. Why, is something wrong? Izuku asked. Yes, it's 6 and you're not dressed yet. Inko replied. Alright, I'll go take a shower. Izuku said. In the morning? His mother added. Izuku's eyes seemed to explode. Oh no, I'm going to be late for school. Later. Alright, classes, midterms are coming up so you better can someone please wake Midoriya up? A teacher asked his class. All the students laughed at the misfortune of the quirkless student, all except one blonde student. A bell rang, signaling the end of the school day. Alright, remember what I just said, you all better study, the teacher said. Most of the students left with their friends as Midoriya started to wake from his nap. Hey Bakugo, are you going to the gym again? It's alright to rest every now and again, his long finger friend said. Fuck OFF, I'm going to work out, Bakugo yelled as he left the classroom. Man, he's been the same ever since we met that guy, the boy with sharp teeth said. The 2 boys did not notice Izuku leaving the class. Jaku Park. Hey Midoriya, your law, what happened to you? Senshi asked. Midoriya's eyes were down, and his face looked depressed. The tired face also reminded Senshi of someone he once fought a long time ago. Sorry sensei, I spent all night watching those boxing matches, Midoriya responded. You were supposed to watch 1 or 2, not all of them, Senshi replied, mouth agape at the youngster's eagerness. Sorry, Midoriya said. Sit down at that bench, get some rest, Senshi said. Izuku sat down to let his eyes rest under the hot sun. After a few minutes of sleep, cold water rained down on the boy's head. Izuku felt a sudden cold rush hit him as he jumped up from his nap. Morning sleepyhead, how was your nap? Senshi sarcastically asked. Was that really necessary? Midoriya asked. Yes, it's very hot today so hydration is important. In addition, I got another bottle of water just for you, just in case you get thirsty. I recommend that you wait before you drink it. Senshi threw Midoriya a cold bottle of water. Thank you. So what are we doing today? Midoriya asked. Running. Speed is very important in a fight. So, we're going on a jog to improve your speed, Senshi said. After a few stretches, Midoriya and Senshi left the park and went out for a jog. 2 hours later. Senshi, you said we were going on a jog, but we've already jogged 10 miles. Midoriya complained as he desperately tried to catch up to his teacher. We've got 2 more miles to do, so quit whining and hurry up, Senshi yelled. Izuku tried again to reach his teacher but stopped when he felt something weird in his stomach. Stopping by a nearby bush, Izuku vomited. When Senshi saw his student vomit into a bush, he stopped and threw Izuku another water bottle. Let's rest for now, drink up, Senshi said. Izuku desperately grabbed the water bottle. Izuku took a sip before spitting into the bush. Izuku was sweating up a storm and yet, his teacher was the opposite. Hey sensei, how are you doing that? Midoriya asked. Despite being one of the hottest days in the year, Senshi was barely sweating. It's a technique I learned in my teenage years. I can control my body temperature at will. So, no matter the weather, I'm at my best game, Senshi answered. That's amazing, how can you do that? Midoriya asked. I'll teach you later on, for now, let's continue, Senshi said as he began to jog again. Oh no, Midoriya mumbled. 2 weeks later, Midoriya was at Jaku Park again. He was practicing his jabs. His jabs had become much faster than before. Midoriya had also learned how to use the hook. In just a couple of weeks, Midoriya had grown stronger than before. Hey Midoriya, how are you doing? Senshi asked. I'm doing very well, Midoriya replied. Great, today is very special. You're going to have your first fight today, Senshi said with a bland look and holding 2 thumbs up. Fight? But I thought you said I shouldn't start fights with others, Izuka said. I'm glad you remember that, but no, this is different. It is just going to spar, not an actual fight. I believe this could be a good way to test your boxing skills, Senshi said. Oh, alright. Who am I fighting? Midoriya asked. Honestly, I forgot his name. I think it was either Kirishima or Ejiro. Midoriya and Senshi had to take a train ride to reach their destination. If not for the constant looks from bystanders due to Senshi's size, it would have been a regular train ride. However, there was something else that was bothering Midoriya. Although he had been training for weeks now, Midoriya was very nervous. This would be the first time that he actually fought someone, not as those curb stomping he used to receive from Bakugo, an actual fight, one where Izuku could stand a real chance of winning in the end. Izuku was not used to this happening to him. There was something off about Midoriya and Senshi could clearly see it. You're nervous, aren't you? Senshi said. Well, this is the first time I'm actually fighting someone, Midoriya said. Don't worry about it, just keep calm and remember your training, Senshi said. Sensei, how was your first fight? Midoriya asked. Die, you demonic spawn, a full-grown man with a knife said to a 4-year-old boy. Senshi shook off the terrible memory from long ago. It was tough, but in the end I won, Senshi said. Amazing, do you have any advice for me? Midoriya asked. Keep calm, remember your training and observe your opponent. That's all I can really say, Senshi said. Well, do you know anything about my opponent? Midoriya asked. To be honest, not that much. All I know is that he is around your age and that he likes manly things. That's all I really know, Senshi said. The pair arrived at their stop in just 10 minutes. Also, one thing I should let you know, that place is absolute hell. An unimaginable terror lies in that place, Senshi said. That caused Midoriya to shiver in fear. What kind of place is this? Even if struck fear in his teacher. With every step toward their destination, Midoriya's fear grew more and more, until he realized that the place that they were going to was a boxing gym. Wait, I thought you said this place was hell, Midoriya said. For me, it is, just trust me, Senshi said as he opened the door. Midoriya expected to see a scene that would have made him piss his pants. Instead, he got a grown woman tackling his teacher to the ground. Shinu! The woman yelled as she tackled the man to the ground. The woman had short brown hair and light brown eyes. The woman was almost as Senshi. The woman was wearing a red sweatshirt and black workout shorts. This woman clearly looked like she worked a lot. She even had a six-pack. In addition, for some reason, she was hugging Senshi like her life depended on it. Get off of me, Heijisher, Senshi said, trying to get the woman off him. That's no way a person should treat their girlfriend. The woman, now named Heijisher. Girlfriend, Midoriya yelled. Ex-girlfriend, remember, Shina, Senshi said. Technically we didn't break up, Heijisher said. And who's this little cutie? Heijisher, this is my student Izuka Midoriya. Izuka Midoriya, this is Heijisher Dejiki, my ex-girlfriend, Senshi said. Hello there, nice to meet you, Midoriya said as took a bow. Wow, what nice manners. You're a lot nicer than most people I meet, Heijisher said. What am I doing? We should go out, Shina. No, you know exactly why we are here, Senshi said. Come on, have a little fun every now and then. I'm not the only girl who've you dated, Heijisher said. Wait, I recognize this place. Ms. Joke often gives this place publicity. She said this place is her favorite to work out, Izuka said. Oh, hero fans, aren't you? You are correct. Emmy does promote this place a lot. Did you know she's been seeing someone lately? You think we should go on a double date, Shina? Heijisher asked. And no, we're just here for a spar, nothing else, Senshi said. Alright, fine. Come and make sure you don't insult anyone, Heijisher said. The inside looked like a traditional boxing gym. Items like punching bags, weightlifting station, and even some boxing rings filled the gym. Wait a second, let me call for him. Kirishima, come over here right now, Heijisher yelled, scaring everyone in the entire gym, including Midoriya. At the mention of his name, a black-haired boy around Izuka's age ran up to Heijisher and lowered his head. Yes, sensei, the black-haired boy said. The boy also appeared to be a little taller than Izuku and a little scar on his eye. How many miles did you run today? 14, exactly like you said, sensei, Kirishima said. Good, now meet your sparring partner for today, Heijisher said. Kirishima looked up and saw an enormous man right in front of him. I fighting him, Kirishima yelled while pointing to Senshi. No, you idiot, that's my boyfriend, you're fighting the guy next to him, Heijiro said while pointing to Izuku. Oh, that makes sense. Wait, boyfriend, Kirishima said. Forget about it, just gear up and get ready to brawl. Heijiro yelled. Izuku, come with me, Senshi said. Izuku followed his teacher to the corner of the gym. Here, put this on, Senshi said as he handed Midori a headgear and a mouth guard. Don't worry about the mouth guard, it's new and I cleaned it just for you. Also, the helmet should be around your size, Senshi said. Sensei, are you sure I should wear this? Midoriya asked. Midoriya, trust me on this. Despite his appearance, this kid has a lot of power in his blows. He is also a weight class above you. In addition, he is used to dealing with tough blows from what I am seeing. So this will greatly help you, Senshi said. Alright, got any last-minute tips? Midoriya asked as he entered the ring. Observe, that's all I can say. A man entered the ring as a referee to state the rules. The rules are simple, no kicking, no headbutts or bites, and you must hit above the waist. How about we add another rule? Heijiro suggested. Senshi turned to her and asked. What are you suggesting? My student is training to be a pro hero. Did you know that? Heijiro asked. Izuku turned to Kirishima, who was also preparing for the fight. So he's trying to be a hero, just like me, Izuku said in his head. I'm thinking we should allow them to use their quirks for this fight, Heijiro said. The woman's words had shocked both Izuku and Kirishima. But sensei, are you sure about this? I don't want to hurt him, Kirishima said. Kirishima, I appreciate your concern, but I do not want to hold back. I want you to go full force at me, Izuku said. Kirishima smiled before saying, such a manly thing to say. Alright, I'm going full force against you. Very well, you can use your quirks, as long as they don't break the rules. Now get to your corners, the referee said. Both Izuku and Kirishima did so. Alright, Kirishima doesn't know I don't have a quirk, so he's prepared for anything. However, I don't know what his quirk is, so I have to be prepared for anything, Izuku said in his head. This person is brave, I will give him that. Let us see how he goes, Krishna was thinking. The referee showed off a bell saying, each round will last 2 minutes and there will be 4 rounds in total. When I ring this bell, the match will start. Izuku went into a traditional boxing stance, left hand in front of the right. However, Kirishima put both hands right in front of his face, leaving space to allow his eyes to see. Peekaboo style, the same style used by Mike Tyson and Makanichi Ippo. He has a strong defense, Izuku said in his head. The referee rang the bell and yelled, begin. Both Kirishima and Izuku rushed to each other. Izuku used a left jab, but it struck Kirishima's arms instead of his chest. Kirishima in response to a left hook at Midoriya's face. It connected, turning Midoriya's head and leaving a powerful impact. Nanny, this is way much more strength than I expected. I should avoid brawling with him. Izuku jumped away from Kirishima, however, Kirishima dashed right towards Izuku. Izuku, who was startled by how fast Kirishima jumped into the corner. Oh no, I am in the corner. I need to get out or I'll be trapped, Izuku was thinking. However, Kirishima rushed right towards Izuku, trapping the green-haired boy in the corner. Kirishima threw an uppercut right with his left hand at Midoriya's chest, leaving a powerful impact. Kirishima pulled back his right arm, preparing for a right jab. No, I cannot let end like this, Midoriya said in his head. If it ends like this, then all of my training will be for nothing. All those miles run, all those push-ups and sit-ups, all for nothing. That's why I'm not going down. Kirishima threw his right jab, only for Izuku to counter with another right jab. Due to it being a counter, Kirishima felt more power, nearly causing him to lose his mouth guard. Crap, I got too cocky. This guy also has more power than I thought, Kirishima said in his head. Kirishima threw another left hook, only for Izuku to counter it. Both boys knew what was happening now. This fight had turned into a brawl. Kirishima threw a left hook right at Midoriya's chest, which Midoriya barely blocked. Izuku used a right jab aimed for Kirishima's face. However, Kirishima dodged the jab. Kirishima threw an uppercut right towards Midoriya's chin. Midoriya barely dodged the attack and countered by striking Kirishima downwards, turning his face sideways. Wait, this is strange. Why does it feel like I'm punching a rock? Izuku asked himself. Izuku's fist was still on Kirishima's face when Kirishima turned his head. Izuku solved the mystery. He has a hardened quirk. I know what his quirk now, but how can I counter against it? Izuku asked himself. The sudden use of Kirishima's quirk had startled Izuku. Kirishima used this chance to harden his arm and punch Izuku straight in the face. Izuku felt the full force of Kirishima's strongest attack, despite wearing a helmet. It was so strong that it caused Izuku to lose his mouth guard and blood came out of his nose. Izuku nearly fell down. The only thing that saved him was the ring of the bell. The first round was over, and Izuku was losing. Izuku went to his corner, where Senshi was. Izuku, how many fingers am I holding? Senshi asked. 2. Izuku replied. Good, now blow. Senshi said as put a Q-tip in Midoriya's nose. Midoriya blew out the blood in his nose, which was less than Senshi imagined. Now look, hardening quirks are strong, but they all have one weakness. Stamina. Their hardening makes them heavier, slowing their movements and lowering the amount of energy they have. Keep your distance and keep on countering. Your counters are your best attack against him. Senshi said. All right. Izuku replied as he put his mouth guard back on. In the other corner, Kirishima was receiving advice as well. You're doing good, Kirishima. A few more hits and he's done. Heijiro said. That's good, but I'm worried why he doesn't use his quirk. Kirishima said as spit into a bucket. It's most likely because it's a one-hit KO kind of quirk. If that is the case, then you have to knock him out immediately. His body isn't that durable, so just focus on dealing out more attacks. Heijiro suggested. The bell rang. Both teachers got out of the ring as the second round began. Unlike the first round, Izuku stood still, waiting for Kirishima's attack. Kirishima rushed towards Izuku, preparing to attack. Hardening his left arm, Kirishima threw a left jab. However, Izuku countered by using a right jab. Kirishima threw a right hook. However, Izuku dodged and punched Kirishima right in the gut. The blow had shaken Kirishima to the point where nearly lost his mouth guard, so he's going to dodge and counter. Not a manly way to fight, but still an effective one, Kirishima said in his head. Kirishima performed an uppercut, but Izuku responded by using a jab to the face. Luckily, for Kirishima, he hardened his face to protect himself from the punch. Wait, I just noticed, Kirishima has only hardened one part of his body at a time. So if I attack multiple places at once, then his hardening will have no effect, Izuku said in his head. Kirishima tried to backdash away, but Izuku was faster. Izuku dashed to Kirishima at full speed. Kirishima expected Izuku to make that move. Kirishima threw a left hook and Izuku ducked to avoid it. However, it was a fluke and Kirishima performed an uppercut, which hit Izuku right in the jaw. I don't like to do this, but I don't like to lose either, Kirishima said in his head. He's trying to trick me. By making believe, he is doing one attack when he is actually doing another. That may work on me once, but not a second time, Izuku said in his head. Kirishima was pretending to do a jab, but he was actually going to do a hook. Izuku saw right through this and dodged both attacks. Using this opportunity, Izuku punched Kirishima right in the stomach. Kirishima used the opportunity to harden his body, but Izuku then punched him right in the face. The punch was so strong that it almost knocked Kirishima out, so he already figured out how my quirk works. This is bad, no one has as bad, no one has ever figured out my quirk this fast. Sensei was right, I need to finish this fight fast, Kirishima said in his head. Kirishima started to go all out, throwing faster punches. Midoriya was dodging most of them. Unfortunately, some of Kirishima's punches did hit Izuku. He's trying to finish this fight. If this is the case, then I need to stall, Izuku said in his head. Izuku did so by jumping away from Kirishima. However, that just put Izuku against the ropes. Kirishima took this chance and rushed to Izuku. Izuku tried to dodge, but he was hit right in the stomach. This slowed Izuku down enough for Kirishima to hit him with a hardened jab right in the face. The punch was so strong that it knocked Izuku down on the ground. Down! The referee shouted. 1, 2, 3. The referee said. Izuku was doing his best to stand up, going so far as to grab the ropes for support. 4, 5. The referee stopped when Izuku fully got up. I can still fight, Izuku said as he put up his fists. The referee went up to Izuku and examined him. All right, continue, the referee said as the match continued. Kirishima, who was resting on the ropes, rushed to Izuku. Izuku was trying to dodge Kirishima's punches but was still hit in the head and the chest. Izuku stumbled before dashing into the corner. Not again, Izuku said in his head. Kirishima used this chance to finish the fight. Kirishima cornered Izuku and laid down a barrage of punches. Izuku did his best to block, but his guard stood no chance against Kirishima's power. Kirishima also hardened his left hand to deal the same amount of power as his right hand. Izuku's defense was breaking down the more Kirishima struck. After a powerful hook to the liver, Izuku dropped his guard. Kirishima used this chance to throw a hardened right uppercut into Izuku's jaw. This punch was so strong that it caused Izuku to lose his balance. It would have been his second down if Izuku did not grab on the ropes. Izuku's determination surprised Kirishima. I must admit, you keep surprising me, Midoriya. I acknowledge your manly spirit and determination. However, I will not lose, Kirishima was thinking as he threw another punch right to Izuku's stomach. Izuku nearly lost his mouth guard from the blow but continued to hold on to the ropes. Kirishima continued to strike Izuku everywhere above the waist. Despite the contest attacks, Izuka continued to stand up. It was then that others in the gym started to watch the fight. Some of the members knew how strong Kirishima's punches were. That is why they were so amazed by the fact that this boy was withstanding all of his attacks. Well, I must admit I'm impressed by you, Shinu. I thought you brought in a weak kid, but this boy has completely blown past my expectations. However, let's see if he has the strength to beat Ejiro, Heijshur said in her head. As she was observing the fight, the bell rang signaling the end of the second round. The end of this round was just like the end of the first round, with Izuka losing. However, Kirishima was also near the brink of defeat. Izuka went to his corner, where his teacher was waiting with an ice pack. This is bad. How many fingers am I holding up? Senshi asked. 3, Izuka replied. Good, you can still see. With your chest badly damaged, you cannot move as fast as before. However, your opponent is in the same boat, Senshi said. Midoriya peeked at Kirishima's corner. He saw Kirishima out of breath and exhausted. You've tried him out, all you've got to do is finish the fight, Senshi said. Midoriya put on his mouth guard and said, Alright, the fight ends in this round. Kirishima's advice was different from Izuku. Kirishima, can you still go on? Heijshur asked. Yes, sensei, I can go on, Kirishima replied. He was lying through his teeth. Despite Heijshur knowing something was wrong with her student, but chooses to obey his wishes. Okay, from what I can tell his chest is badly damaged. Just keep hitting him there and your victory is guaranteed, Heijshur said. Sensei, there's one more thing. I think he's discovered how my quirk works, Kirishima said. Heijshur froze in her tracks. High levels of determination and observation skills. What is he, your son Shinu? Heijshur asked herself. Seconds out, the referee said. Heijshur was forced to step out of the ring before she gave Kirishima advice. Kirishima took his peekaboo stance, while Izuku still took on his normal boxing stance. Kirishima slowly walked over to Izuku, prepared for any attack. However, Izuku stood perfectly still, as if he had not taken a harsh beating before. He must be waiting for me to attack and perform a counter, Kirishima said to himself. Kirishima was about to take another step when Izuku jumped away. Kirishima took this chance to dash towards Izuku, however soon learned his mistake. Izuku did not actually jump but tricked Kirishima into thinking he did. Izuku did this to trick Kirishima to come closer to him. Using the opportunity, Izuku stepped in and threw a right jab aimed at Kirishima's face. Despite Kirishima hardening his face, the punch did a lot of damage to Kirishima. This was because Kirishima's hardening was starting to wear off from the overuse of it. Kirishima started to back away to avoid Izuku's attacks. However, Izuku would not let Kirishima escape. Izuku started to throw punches randomly, all aiming for Kirishima's face. However, Kirishima dodged most of them. Unfortunately for him, Izuku threw an uppercut right towards Kirishima's chin. It looked like Kirishima dodged to everyone. However, he somehow fell down on the floor. This surprised mostly everyone who was watching, including the referee. This caused a delay in the referee's count. 1, 2, 3. The referee counted. Wait, I can still get up, Kirishima said as he started to get up. Yet, Kirishima fell down on his butt. 4, 5, 6, 7. The referee said, still not believing what he was seeing. Hold on, I can still fight, Kirishima said as he grabbed the rope. Even with the help of a rope, Kirishima still kept on falling down. Nearly everyone in the gym had one thought on his or her mind: what it is going on. They had never encountered something like this before. 8, 9. The referee said. Wait a second, hold on, Kirishima pleaded. 10. The referee said. Kirishima's eyes widened as he realized in the first time in his life that he lost. Izuku smiled because in the first time in his life he had won a fight. I won, I can't believe that I won, Izuku said to himself. The sight of Kirishima losing still stunned the audience. If you're all wondering, let me explain, Senshi said. Kirishima didn't dodge the last uppercut Midoriya threw. The punch hit Kirishima's chin by 1 inch. That 1-inch punch affected Kirishima's balance, preventing him from getting up, Senshi explained. Oh, so that's what happened. I thought it was because Kirishima was clumsy, Heijshur said. The effects should have dispersed by now. Trying standing up, Kirishima, Senshi said. Kirishima could now stand up, though that did not help with his own spirit. Izuku, go wash off in the bathroom, Senshi said. Kirishima, you do the same thing, Heijshur said. Both boys took off their gear and went to the bathroom. Shinu, how is this kid related to you? Heijshur asked. He's just my student, nothing more and nothing less. Midoriya is not relative or child of a friend or someone famous, he's just my student, Senshi said. Alright, I believe you. However, does he know about your title? Heijshur asked with a straight face. No, I hope he never learns, Senshi said with a saddened face. Are you sure? I'm sure anyone would be happy if they were learning from the king, Heijshur said. Trust me, The world I rule is not one Midoriya should know. He's a good kid. Senshi said. One last question, do you that thing under control? Heijiro asked with a serious face. Senshi faced her, and with an honest answer he said, I haven't heard him in 2 years. I have done so many things without his influence in my mind. For the first time in my life, I'm at peace. Senshi said. That's great, you've changed the last time I saw you. Heijiro said. So do you want to go date? Why do you keep asking if you know the answer? Senshi asked. Oh come on, we haven't met in years. We can just come and talk in my house. Heijiro begged. Fine, but nothing else. Senshi said. Yay! Heijiro yelled. The restroom. Izuku was currently washing his hands. Despite the fact that Izuku was fighting literally moments before, he felt refreshed. Like when you take a good shit. However, there was someone else in the room that was feeling very upset. Izuku saw that Kirishima looked very sad after their fight. Kirishima, are you alright? Izuku asked the black-haired boy. Kirishima looked at Izuku before saying his thoughts. Midoriya, I'm going to get stronger, and you better get stronger too. I want to beat you when you're even stronger. Kirishima said. Izuku was happy that Kirishima was feeling better. Alright, by the way, I have some questions regarding your quirk. Izuku said. Oh yeah, I was wondering, why didn't you use your quirk in our fight? Kirishima asked. Izuku froze on the spot. Well, the thing is, Midoriya did not want to say it. I'm quirkless. Midoriya was scared. This was probably the first friend he has had in so long, and the fact that he was quirkless was going to ruin it. Damn, I thought it was because you were holding back on me, Kirishima said as he put his head behind his head. No, I would never do that, Izuku said. Alright, by the way, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a hero just like Crimson Riot, Kirishima proudly said. Well, I'm trying to be a hero just like All Might, Izuku said. All Might, does that mean you're going to Udade? Kirishima asked. Yeah, it may seem foolish, but that won't stop me from trying, Izuku said. I'm going to Udade as well. Who knows, we might even be classmates, Kirishima said. I hope so, Izuku responded. Later, Izuku and Senshi left the gym, with Izuku gaining a new friend. So how did I do? Izuku asked. Well, some of your attacks were sluggish. We need to improve your durability, and one of the reasons that you won was because you were wearing headgear, Senshi explained. Oh, Izuku said while lowering his head. But despite all of that, you did pretty well, Senshi said. That brought a simile to Izuku's face. Hey, do you have a favorite ice cream place? Senshi answered. Well, I do like the Hot's ice cream place, Izuku answered. Alright, I think there's one nearby. Let's go there, Senshi said. Back at the gym, his teacher was scolding Kirishima. Well, you lost, nothing can change that, Heijiro said. I'm so sorry, Kirishima said. Like I said, nothing we can do about it. However, she put a finger on Kirishima's head. Kirishima hardened his head as he was pushed into the ground. Heijiro Dejiki quirk, double weight. Anything she touches with her fingers will double the weight on it. However, she can only do it for 3 items at max, and too much use can cause vomiting. We're going to have improved everything about you now, Heijiro said with a menacing tone. Yes, sensei, Kirishima said. Auntie, what's going on? A brown-haired girl asked. Heijiro diverted Kirishima and hugged her niece. Ochako, my sweet little niece. How are you? Heijiro asked. I came to check on you, Auntie, Ochako said. You're so kind, why don't you have a boyfriend? Heijiro asked. Ochako blushed at the mention of a boyfriend. Oh, don't be upset, I'm just teasing you, Heijiro said. Ochako noticed Kirishima still stuck in the ground. What happened to you, Kirishima? Ochako asked. He just lost his first fight, so now he has to do 30 minutes of planking, Heijiro said. Oh no, Kirishima said. He was not that good at planking. Kirishima lost. I wonder who beat him, Ochako was thinking. Meanwhile, Izuku and Shinu were ordering some ice cream. I'll take the All Might special, please, Izuku said. I'll have chocolate, Senshi said as he put some yen down on the counter. After they received their ice cream, they both sat down at a table. You really like All Might, doesn't you? Senshi said. Of course, he's the #1 hero after all, Izuku said as he licked his ice cream. Also, Heijiro mentioned that you've dated other girls. What was that all about? Izuku asked. Funny thing, when I was younger, I was one hell of a playboy, Senshi explained. I had tons of girls, sometimes even in one day. Man, I'm jealous. I don't think no girl would want me, Izuku said. Don't say that, all you need is confidence and kindness, Senshi said. Thank you, sensei, Izuku said as he ate his ice cream. He saw his teacher write something down on a napkin. What are you writing down, sensei? Izuku asked. My home address. We can't keep using the park anymore, so we're going to use my house from now on, Senshi explained. Okay, so what are we going to learn next? Some new boxing moves, Izuka said. Kid, if just use boxing, you'll never get to my level. Senshi said. Tomorrow, I'm teaching you karate. In a dark and barren wasteland, All Might was bleeding all over his massive body. All Might's iconic face has been badly damaged and lost a lot of skin. The hero's legs were broken, to the point where his body collapsed down to the ground. His stomach had a hole the size of a cannonball in it. The person responsible was Shina Senshi. Well, a part of Shina Senshi. Senshi's pupils had disappeared and a wide demonic grin had appeared on his mouth. The face looked too unnatural for a human to make. Why are you doing this? We were once friends, All Might said. Friends? Strange Senshi said. Would friends betray each other behind their backs? Friends don't keep secrets from each other. I had two. One for all is too big of a secret for the world to know, All Might said. Senshi just laughed. You can say all that you want. That's not going to prevent the inevitable, and I am going to enjoy every second of it, the strange Senshi said. The strange Shiner then wrapped one of his hands around All Might's neck and started to squeeze. All Might struggled to break free of the chokehold, but he no longer had his massive strength. Blood started to come out of his neck and All Might's eyes turned red. The symbol of peace was dying. Goodbye, you bastard, the weird Senshi said as he raised his free fist. And oh! Someone cried out as they tackled Senshi off All Might. For some reason, All Might vanished like smoke in the wind. You shouldn't have done that, Shina Senshi said to Shina Senshi. Except this, one looked exactly like the normal one. How are you still alive? I got rid of you, Senshi yelled. Rid of me? You can't get rid of me. That OLD man was a fool to believe he could, the other Senshi said. Don't you dare talk about my sensei like that, the normal Senshi yelled. I can talk about that OLD fool however I want, the other Senshi said. Why are you even doing this? To mess with my mind, Senshi asked. To remind you what we are messing, the darker Senshi said. We spent years of our life fighting, killing for this moment. Yet you threw it all away because you felt bad. You knew damn well that's not it, the real Senshi said. And what are you doing now? Failing job interviews for a janitor. How did we fall so low? We were the king, and now we are nothing. We should make use of what little time we have left, the dark Senshi said. I will rather die as nothing than what I was before, Senshi replied. The dark Shina paused before saying, You want to fight him, don't you? All Might, I told you I want nothing from that life anymore. Not All Might, Midoriya. Shina Senshi woke up drenched in sweat. It was just a nightmare. A horrible nightmare that should not have happened in the first place. It has been 2 years since Shina heard his voice in his head. Shina hoped it would have gone the rest of his life without hearing him ever again. It could have been just a dream and he was not there. There was no way he could ever want to fight Midoriya. That kid is nowhere near his level. However, Midoriya did do pretty well in his first fight. His observation skills are even better than mine are. In a couple of years who knows how strong he may become. Senshi hit himself on the head. What was he thinking? Midoriya was just a kid. Not wanting to take any risks, Senshi grabbed a paper and pen and started to write to his old sensei in Mandarin. Dear sensei, I heard his voice again. I do not know if it was from a dream or I am just going crazy. I am going to get a phone so I can contact you more often. Write back to me when you get this. In addition, I have a student now. He is training to be a hero just like you. I just know he is going to make me proud. From your former student Shina Senshi. What a strange way to start the day, Senshi said to himself. Izuku was puzzled. He believed he was going to a normal apartment or household. However, the address he had was to the entrance of a local forest. Hey kid, what are you doing here? A man called out. Oh sorry, I'm looking for this home address, Midoriya said, showing the man the address. Kid, tell what you intend to do up there, the man asked. Oh, just some training, Midoriya asked. Let me tell you something kid, don't piss off the man who lives here, the man told Midoriya. Why not? Midoriya asked out of curiosity. This forest used to have tons of animals, from the biggest bear to the smallest squirrel. However, that all changed when that man came. Suddenly every animal who lived here moved away. The only animals here are the fish in the local pond. That is not even the worst part. Tons of widows come over to face that man. All of them have been utterly defeated. I've seen many horrifying things in my day, but nothing compares to that man. Midoriya was scared beyond all belief. Dan, please stop scaring the kid, Senshi yelled out. Oh, come on. I'm old, let me have fun in my life. The man now known as Dan said. You are a park ranger. I'm sure scaring your customer is against your work code, Senshi said. You are no fun. Why did you come down anyways? Dan asked. I'm just dropping off mail, and Midoriya, once I'm done we can start training, Senshi said. Okay sensei, Midoriya replied. Oh, someone's a teacher now. How long has that been going on? Dan asked. About a month, Midoriya said. So you finally got a job after all. Dan laughed. What does he mean by now, sensei? Midoriya asked. Nothing, he's just an old man, Senshi said in embarrassment. Dan laughed at Senshi's comment. Come with me, Midoriya. I'm going to show you where I live, Senshi said. Don't have high hopes, kid, Dan yelled out. Sensei, what does he mean by that? Midoriya asked. You'll see, Senshi said in an angry tone. Senshi showed Midoriya a path leading into the forest. Up here is where my house is. It's a long path, just letting you know, Senshi said. Okay, Midoriya replied. At first, Midoriya believed that it was not that long of a walk. However, the longer it went, the harder it was to climb the mountain. The trail seemed like it would never end. The further up the mountain they went, the harder it was for Midoriya. Sensei goes through something like this every day. I know he's strong, but this is even worse than the 13-mile run, Izuku said in his head. I know I can ask Sensei some questions to pass the time. So Sensei, why did you start practicing martial arts in the first place? Izuku asked. Well, to be honest, I was a brawler in my middle school days. I fought on many people and always came on top. However, I met someone stronger than me. Ever since then I trained myself to learn everything about martial arts, Sensei replied. Did you ever fight that person? Izuku asked. Senshi stopped. No, I don't think he would like what I've done. Midoriya was confused. We're here, Senshi said, pointing to an old-looking dojo. So this is Sensei's house, Midoriya said in his head. Midoriya, were we followed? Senshi asked. Midoriya was confused until the trees around him started to shake. Out from the trees, a strangely dressed man. The man wore a bright orange jumpsuit and a handband with a leaf on it. My name is Naruhodo Uzumoki. I am a ninja from the Hidden Grass Village. With the power of the 8.5-clawed wolf, I will beat Dash. The man did not finish his sentence. With a single punch, Senshi sent the man flying. The man crashed into some trees and knocked down the trees with him. A ninja's greatest strength is their stealth. Your outfit and the fact that you just revealed yourself prove your stupidity, Senshi said. Come on, Midoriya, we got training to do, Senshi said. What should we do about him? Midoriya asked, pointing to Naruhodo. Do not worry, someone always comes up and picks them up. I also held back against him so he'll live, Senshi did. Once inside, Izuku saw that the dojo had loads of fighting equipment. It was similar to the boxing gym he previously went to, however, this was different. The equipment looked old and the large amounts of dust did not help it. Sorry about the condition of this place. I don't have a lot of visitors, Senshi said. It's okay, Izuku said. This reminds me of the time I went to Kaken's house. This is just as messy. So, Midoriya, what separates boxing from karate? Senshi asks. Well, karate uses kicks, unlike boxing that only uses punches, Izuku responded. Correct, so that is where we will start off with. I'm going to teach you how to kick, Senshi said. He took out a large kicking mat and held it to his side. Try doing a high kick aimed for my head, Senshi said. Izuku tried to do a high kick but performed badly. Okay, I see what you need to improve on, Senshi said. Look how I kick. Senshi then moved a few paces back. With a swift motion, he cut the air with his leg. Notice any differences? Senshi asked. No, not really, Izuku responded. Okay then, trying doing another high kick, Senshi said. Midoriya did so again, but this time, Senshi grabbed his leg in the air. The difference between my kick and yours is the hips. I am moving my hips forward, which allows me to use my upper body strength. When your hips don't move, it cuts off the power from your upper body, Senshi explained. Try doing it again. Izuku took a few paces back, before unleashing another kick, this time moving his hips. I feel like I did something wrong, Midoriya said. Well, you just started with kicks so you won't be an expert instantly. I recommend practicing kicking at home, Senshi said. One more thing, I should try teaching actually karate techniques. The most basic technique is the straight punch. Let me demonstrate, Senshi said. Senshi positioned his left fist right next to his stomach. He then performed a straight punch with his right hand. Senshi then moved his right fist into the same position as his left, and performed a straight punch with his left. This technique is called the straight punch. This punch is different from the jab. It's pretty simple, so that's why I'm going to teach you it first, Senshi explained. Try it out. Izuku tried the straight punch exactly like Senshi. Okay, just like that. Now let us talk about some exercises. We should do some exercises to not only improve your kicks but also your durability, Senshi said. Alright, what do you think I should do? Izuku asked. First thing, planking. I recommend that should be added to your workout. Also, why don't you try doing some now? Senshi said. All right. Midoriya said as he went down into a planking position. How long do I have to do this? Izuku asked. Until I say so, Senshi replied. Senshi then went into another room. How long is this going to take? Izuku asked himself. Senshi then exited the room, wearing a different set of clothes. I'm going out. When I come back you better still be in the same position, Senshi said as he left the dojo. Oh no, Izuku said in his head as he felt his body weaken. 1 hour later. I'm back, Senshi said as he was holding 2 boxes containing a house phone and a regular cell phone. Izuku, how are you? Senshi asked. Awful, Midoriya said as he was in the same position as before. You can get up now, Senshi said. Midoriya's body collapsed to the ground. Well, you're not dead, Senshi committed. I feel dead, Izuku said. That means you're alive, Senshi said. By the way, do you think you can still go on? I feel weird, Izuku said as he got up. Midoriya then began to see black. The last time he heard was Midoriya! Izuku woke up in his bed. However, that cannot be right. He was just in his sensei's house. So why was he back home? Izuku looked around his room. His All Might collection was still here, so this was definitely his room. However, the question remained, how was he here? Izuku pressed his ear against the door to the room. He heard 2 people talking, but could not hear them. However, one voice sounded like his mother. Taking a brave move, Izuku opened the door. The green-haired Bit-turn went to the living room where he could now hear the voices. I knew Midoriya was an All Might fan, but I didn't know he was this much of a fan. Oh please, you should see his All Might pajamas. We got him so many. I thought he had 2. It's brave to think he only had 2. Izuku finally saw the 2 people talking, and what a shock it was. His mom and his sensei were talking to each other, with a photo album in his mom's hands. Mom, sensei, what's going on? Izuku asked. Morning sleep beauty, how was your nap? Senshi asked. Fine, but what happened? Izuku asked. Well, you passed out so I took you home, Senshi said. And your mother is amazing. I can see where you get all of your good traits came from. Oh, you're so kind, Inko replied. She even helped me set up my phone, so you can contact me whenever you want, Senshi said. Really, that's great, Izuku said. And he has shown me some exercise that I can do, Inko said. Well, I'd better get going. I need to go somewhere right now. Midoriya, I left you some a paper containing some exercises to do. They're not as intense as what you did earlier today, so I think you should be good, Senshi said. Are you sure you can't stay for some tea? Inko asked. I would love to, but this is urgent, Senshi said. I understand, come back anytime, Inko said as she waved Senshi goodbye. Goodbye, sensei, Izuku said as he waved his teacher goodbye. After he left the Midoriya household, Inko asked a question to her son. Izuku, why didn't you tell me your teacher was as big as All Might? His mother asked. Oh, well, I guess it wasn't that important to mention, Izuku said. Next time, let me know before I have a heart attack, Inko Midoriya told her son. All right, I will, Izuku said. 1 week later, Izuku raised his leg in the air and performed a strong high kick against the kicking mat. That's a very good kick, Midoriya. You've improved a lot, Senshi said. Thank you, sensei. Do you want to see my straight punch now? Izuku asked his teacher. Sure, why not? Senshi said. Izuku took a few paces back and started to perform the straight punch. That's excellent, your punches have improved a lot, Senshi committed. Thank you, sensei, Izuku said. Well now, let's go on to some other karate techniques, Senshi said. Try punching me, are you sure? Someone could get hurt, Izuku asked. Oh, don't worry, I won't get hurt, Senshi said. I was talking about myself, Izuku said in his head. Izuku went into his normal boxing stance. With a quick movement, Izuku unleashed his fastest jab. However, Senshi placed his hand against Midoriya's arm, diverting his punch away. This is a traditional way of blocking on karate. This move can be used for attacks from above and down low. When you use this, you can also attack your opponent. Senshi then moved his hand that was blocking Midoriya's punch and threw a punch right towards his face. It did not connect but stopped right in front of Izuku's face. See why this is so effective, Senshi said. Wow, Izuku said with a smile on his face. I believe this could help you learn, Senshi said as he took out a wooden dummy half his size with multiple poles sticking out. I think I've seen this before in a lot of movies, Izuku commented. Well, this is way different than the movies, Senshi said. Here's why. With a single movement of his hand, Senshi was able to spin the dummy around like a top. It spun so fast that Izuku could barely see its movements. When it stopped spinning, Izuku asked one thing. Am I going to train with that? He asked. Senshi nodded. It's either that or I can do instead. Well, machine it is, Izuku said. A few hours later. Well, it's getting late. I think I would be best if we end our training now, Senshi said. I agree with that. Izuku said as his face was now bruised in a comedic way. Just take a long jog, that's it for today. Senshi said. Great. Izuku said as he left the building. Senshi waited for a long time before he started to chuckle. Then he started to laugh wildly. I shouldn't, my student's beat up face isn't that funny, Senshi said to himself. But it is, ha 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 ha. Senshi laughed aloud. Crashed. A man burst through the wall. The man had black hair with blue eyes. The man was wearing a white-sleeved shirt with dark blue pants. The man also held a backward sword. My name is Sasuke Ichiwawa. I heard you were the man who defeated Naruhodo. The man now known as Sasuke said. Yeah, what are gay for him? Senshi joked. Do not encourage the fans, Sasuke yelled. But that is not why I am here. I am here to honor my ancestors. Sasuke then took out his sword. His eyes then changed from black to dark red. With the Sharingan, my family's prized weapon, I will bring honor back to my dead clan. I am the last survivor of the Uchiwawa massacre that happened. Oh my god, is he going to me his whole life story? I then dedicated my life to Holy shit, he is telling me his life story. When I was bitten by a big snake man, I gained the powers of a You know I can go for some Mexican right about now. I've been having way too much fish lately. After abandoning my village and leaving the girl who liked me for some reason, I joined a Are there any Mexican restaurants in Japan? I hope so. I haven't had Mexican in ages. After killing my brother, I discovered my family was killed because You know, this guy looks like a mascot for Hot Topic. He could make some real money as one. I then fought my former allies when Are you just going to talk or are we going to fight? Senshi angrily asked. Well, have it your way, Sasuke yelled. Lighting formed on his blade. As the last of the Uchiwawas, I will defeat you, Sasuke yelled out. He then rushed at the speed of lighting towards the huge man, only to be kicked right in the groin. The full force of the kick instantly crushed Sasuke's balls. Sasuke collapsed to the ground, holding his crotch. Well, you were right on one thing. You are the last of whatever you are, Senshi said. He then took out his new phone and said, 2 things, I have to get going, and when I get back you had better not be in here or take anything. If so, then you'll lose more than your balls. Senshi then left the dojo, leaving Sasuke alone and broken. Let us see the wonders of modern technology. Hey Siri, Mexican restaurants near me, Senshi said to his phone. Okay, I found 5 results for Mexican cults near you. Siri replied in a dull robotic voice. What the fuck? Somewhere else. Izuku was sprinting all the way home. This was training Izuku did that not even his sensei knew. Izuku knew his ace was not in his strength but in his speed. So Izuku had been running to school to sensei's house and then to his home. He also did this with his backpack on, making the journeys even hard. However, despite all this, Izuku continued to do these runs. Even once when it was raining, Izuku did not slow down. However, Izuku stopped to see something that caught his eye. Teenage Muay Thai fighter has gained a huge cult following online, was the title on TV. Yes, Daikaku, this boy is earning worldwide fame. Although public fighting or sports itself had faded from popularity because of the rise of quirks, Thailand still has Muay Thai competitions. One of these Muay Thai fighters is a boy named Chaisai Chukriai. Despite being 13 years old, Chukriai has proven himself to be among one of the best fighters in history. Our reporter Yu Shimamura is now interviewing the young fighter. Now to Yu Shimamura. Thank you, Daikaku, Shimamura said as she now appeared on the screen. I am currently standing the dojo of Chaisai Chukriai, which is also where Thailand's top hero originated from. Here is Chukriai now, the reporter said. The moment the Muay Thai fighter appeared on screen, Izuku felt something. His entire body went cold. What is this? Izuku asked himself. He only felt this before when Kaken antagonized him. I'm scared, but why? Izuku asked himself. Chukriai did not appear very imposing. He had light brown skin with brown hair and brown eyes. Chukriai was also the same height and age as Izuku. Izuku was not the only one feeling this pressure. The reporter on screen looked visibly shaken. Another man was with Chukriai. Everyone, this is Churky's personal translator. He will be translating everything that Chukriai says into Japanese, the reporter said. Chukriai said something in Thai, which his translator interpreted. Chukriai says that he is happy to have this opportunity. His translator said. I'm glad he is, the reporter replied. After Chukriai sat down, the reporter began to ask questions. So Chukriai, there are many rumors that you have received scholarships from hero schools like U.A and Thailand's own International Hero School. Are these rumors true? The reporter asked. Chukriai answered, which his translator explaining. I am not one to brag, but yes, these rumors are true. Another question that is also on everyone's mind, why did you start competing in Muay Thai? The reporter asked the teen. I can answer this one, the translator said. So see, Chukri always wanted to fight strong people. So being a Muay Thai fighter was his way of doing so, the translator said. Okay, one thing that has made you very popular is how you often fight against opponents who use other martial arts. Why exactly do you do this? The reporter asked. Chukri smiled and said something in Thai. However, despite not knowing what he said, the sentence sends shivers down Izuku's spine. Even the translator looked scared. What did he say? The reporter nervously asked. He said. The translator was obviously scared. He said that would accept all challengers, no matter the circumstances. Izuku was so distracted by the T.V that he did not notice a brown-haired girl accidentally trip onto him. Oh, I am so sorry. I wasn't paying attention, the girl said as she held her hand out. It's no problem, I'm perfectly fine, Izuku said as he grabbed her hand for support. Come on, Uraraka, no time for dash, a black-haired boy said as he entered into the conversation. However, he then saw Izuku and recognized him. Midoriya/Kirishima. The two boys yelled. How have you been? Kirishima asked. I've been doing great. How are you doing? Izuku replied. Training's been hard, but besides that, I've been doing well, the black-haired boy answered. Excuse me. Both boys turned to face the voice. Kirishima. Who is this? Oh, sorry, Uraraka. This is Izuku Midoriya, the guy who kicked my ass, Kirishima said. Don't say it like that, Izuku said. Oh, so you were the one that beat Kirishima. I really wanted to meet you, the brown-haired girl said. My name is Ochako Uraraka. Hello, it's nice to meet you, Izuku said as he shook her hand. Unfortunately, we have to go. If we don't hurry, we will get severely punished, Kirishima said. Okay, bye Izuku. I hope we meet again, Uraraka said. Goodbye, Izuku said as he waved his new friend goodbye. What was I doing again? Oh right, going home. 3 days later. Your defense is greatly improving, Senshi committed. Izuku was blocking nearly every pole and was even scoring a few hits. Thank you, sensei, Izuku said as the wooden dummy stopped spinning. Well, I guess that's enough of the dummy, Senshi said. Then what are we going to do now, sensei? Izuku asked. Seeing how your counters really improved your last fighting, we are going to improve that as well. Your offense also needs some work as well. There are 3 techniques that could help you, Sensei said. What techniques are those? Midoriya asked. I'll tell you later. However, for training, I'm going to attack you up and you need to block and counterattack, Senshi said. You're kidding, right? Izuku nervously asked. Nope, you better be ready, Midoriya, Senshi said. Oh no. 3 weeks later. So Midoriya, you've finally threw a counterattack, Senshi said. He had thrown a punch, but Midoriya had used one of the techniques and punched Senshi right in the stomach. Does that mean training is over now? Midoriya asked. His face and whole body were bruised from the training. Yeah, go rest now. When you're healed, go call me. I have another fight for you, Senshi said. What should I do until then? Midoriya asked. Take it easy and rest. You have been training for a long time. You should take a rest every now and then, Senshi said. Okay, sensei, Izuku said. Also say hi to your mom for me. She's a really nice woman, Senshi said. Sensei, you're not dating my mom, are you? Izuku asked. No, I'm single for now, Senshi said. Plus I'm more into women who put up a fight, like Heijure Dejiki. Oh, speaking of that, I met Kirishima again, Izuku said. Really, how did that go? Senshi asked his student. Great, he even had a friend with him that I liked. She was really nice, Izuku said. Wait a minute, she... Senshi turned his head to face Midoriya. You sly dog. Did you get her number? What? No, I didn't, Izuku replied. I mean, she is cute. Midoriya suddenly realized what he just said and turned into a blushing mess. Senshi laughed at his student's endeavors. Well, did you at least get her name? Senshi asked. Yeah, her name was Ochako Uraraka, Midoriya replied. Senshi put his finger on his chin. Uraraka, I've heard that name before, Senshi said. But where? The construction company. No, that is too obvious. Oh, now I remember, she's Higeshi's niece. Really, I didn't know that, Izuku replied. Yeah, apparently Heijure has a sister that married a man with the Uraraka last name. I have met her sister before, but not her niece. What's she like? Well, I only met her briefly, but she was really nice and friendly, Izuku said. You also said that she's cute, Senshi said. Wait, no, I take that back, Izuku said. So she's not cute then? No, I did not mean like that. I meant that she dash. Izuku did not last long, his stuttering had taken over. His words were barely understandable and not even Izuku himself understood what he was saying. Relax, I'm just teasing you. I didn't mean it, Senshi said. You know, this kind of reminds me of the time Heijshur asked me out on a date. Really? Can you tell me what happened? Midoriya asked. Well, it all started a long time ago. Flashback. Hot damn, another good fight, Senshi. 50 more wins and your title as the king is assured. A short man said as he handed Senshi a huge stack of money. Thank you. Also keep on getting me fighters like her. The more fights I have, the stronger I become. A younger, shorter and less buff Senshi said. You got it. With my position I can guarantee you fights with anyone in the world. Even the #1 hero if you want. Speaking of which, have you ever given thought of fighting him? You're not getting younger. The short man asked. Oh, I do want to fight him, but I'm not strong enough yet. However, when I do, it will be the greatest fight in human history. The younger Senshi said. I can't wait. Well, I got to go. My business can't run itself. The short man said as a group of huge-looking bodyguards escorted him. Senshi was walking down a long corridor until he heard crying. The man stopped to hear where the crying was coming from. Turning around the corner, Senshi saw his former opponent Heijshur crying. She had her head covering her arms, and she was sitting down on the ground. What happened to you? Senshi said. She lifted her head, revealing a black eye and a cut above her left eye. It has also revealed that she was Heijshur Dejiki. If it's because of your injuries, I will have you know that you almost ruptured my liver and broke a few ribs. Senshi said. You asshole, this has nothing to do with that. The woman yelled. She threw a punch at the man, but her body lost most of its strength from her injuries. It did not help that Senshi easily dodged that punch, causing the woman to fall to the ground face first. Sorry about that. Need help? Senshi said as he offered her a hand. Fuck off. The woman yelled. She got up on her own and tried to put on a tough face. However, her tears gave away her vulnerability. She covered her face with her right hand, but it did not help much. You know, just because we fought each doesn't mean you should be like that. Senshi said. Why do you care? Heijshur asked. Senshi remained silent. I had a friend who taught me that no matter who it should be, I should help everyone I can. Heijshur Dejiki was baffled by the man's words. That sounds like something a hero would say. She committed. Well, that guy always wanted to be a hero. Senshi said. Fine, if you must know, I really needed the money. My sister is going through some rough times and she has a baby coming. I wanted to be a good sister and aunt to them by getting them money. So I fought you and you know the rest. Heijshur explained. Senshi reached into his pocket before taking out the money he just previously earned. Take it, I don't need it. Senshi said. Heijshur hesitantly took the money. Before she looked at every one of the bills, this is about 1,000,000 yen. Are you sure you want to give this to me? Heijshur asked. I don't need it. I got enough money for a lifetime. Use it however you want. Senshi said. He was about to leave until Heijshur grabbed his shoulder. Are you free anytime soon? Flashback to the future. And that's the story. Senshi said to Midoriya. What a wonderful time that was. Heijshur said. How the hell did you get here? Senshi asked with a shocked face. I have my ways, the grown woman said. Midoriya was also surprised at the arrival of the grown woman. We later went to my home and there is a underage child here. Senshi yelled. We spent hours just doing Midoriya run. Senshi yelled. Midoriya ran out the dojo at full speed, not looking behind him. Why are you here? Senshi asked. Well, I kinda told my friend that I would go on a double date with her. Heijshur explained. Okay, what does Senshi finally understood what she meant. I promise I'll pay you back, Heijshur said. I will even help you train your student if you want. Senshi placed his hand on his face before reaching a conclusion. All right, but under one circumstance. No matching clothing, that's it. Yippee, I can't wait for our date, Heijshur proudly said. Well, you better get going. You have a gym to run anyways, Senshi said. Before she left, however, Heijshur planted a huge kiss on Senshi's lips. Bye, Shinu, Heijshur said as she left. Damn woman, Senshi said in his head, trying to hide the simile on his face. 4 days later, Midoriya arrived at the destination his sensei told him to go. After healing up, his sensei told him to meet at this place. What Midoriya did not know was that this place was home to the biggest karate dojo in the world, Kendo Karate, a dojo that is famous for its founder killing a tiger in a single attack. Despite it being around only for 15 years, it became hugely popular. Even some heroes train here. Wow, you really know your stuff. Senshi committed, appearing right behind Midoriya. AHHH. Midoriya yelled. You scared me. Sorry about that. You were mumbling again, by the way. Senshi said. Sorry, so what are we doing here? Midoriya asked. I asked the owner of this dojo for a spare. He agreed one condition. Senshi said. I'll show you later, but anyways you're fighting a green belt from what I heard. A green belt? To be honest, I thought I was going to fight a black belt. Izuka said. Don't have too many high hopes. They say a green belt here is on the same level as a black belt, Senshi committed. If that's the case, then how's my opponent? Izuku asked. To be honest, I don't even know. For I know, your opponent could be a mouse, Senshi said. The duo entered the building. A receptionist who was working on her computer greeted them. I was told that we should go to the top floor. That's where our appointment is, Senshi said as he guided Midoriya to the elevator. Once inside, Midoriya asked a question lingering in the back of his mind. So, Sensei, do you know the owner? Midoriya asked. Well, I did beat him once. This was before he famously killed a tiger in one blow thing, Senshi explained. He most likely did that because he was upset at me. I mean, I did take off most of his teeth. Wait, please explain that, Izuku said. You'll see, Senshi said as they reached the top floor. The moment the elevator doors opened, Izuku's face was blown back by strong winds. There were numerous people inside, all wearing black belts. They were practicing their straight punch when they noticed the duo by the elevator. Hey Sensei, they're here, one of the black belts called out. A large man nearly the size of Senshi came out. The man smiled, revealing that he only had half of his teeth left. It's been so long since I saw you, Senshi. How many years has it been? The man asked. I believe it's been 14 years, Oikakit, Senshi replied. Damn, it's been so long since I had a good steak, the man now known as Oikakit said. Well, the past is in the past. Itsuka, your opponent is here. Someone the age and size of Izuku came out of the group. My name is Ituka Kendo, pleased to meet you. A girl, the orange-haired girl in front of him, baffled Izuku. He was going to fight a girl. He cannot do that, that was not heroic. Before we begin, Senshi said. What are the rules? Okay, the rules are no punching the face, kicks are allowed, no grabbing or throws, and you win when your opponent stays down for 10 seconds. Is that fair enough? Oikakit asked. I think it's fair, Midoriya said. Same here, Itsuka replied. Well, this is good, Oikakit said. Now things are fair on both sides. Let's have a quick stretching session before the match begin. Senshi then felt Midoriya tug at his shirt. Can I talk to you for a little bit? Sure, is something wrong? Senshi asked his student. I can't fight a girl. That's not heroic, Izuka said. Midoriya, do you want people to look down on you? Senshi asked. No, but what does that have to do with me fighting a girl? Because that is what you are doing right now. You are looking down on her just because she is a girl. It is the same thing as judging someone because they are quirkless. If that is what is on your mind, then you will lose, Senshi said. Midoriya wanted to reply to his sensei, but could not find the right words. All right, stretching time is over. Let's begin the fight, Oikakit said. Wait a second, Midoriya said, but his pleas were unheard. Itsuka put on a traditional karate stance. Izuku nervously put on the same stance as Itsuka. If Midoriya keeps on acting like this, he's going to lose, Senshi said on his head. Begin, Oikakit yelled as the fight began. Itsuka immediately dashed right towards Izuku, with a straight punch. Izuku tried to back away but failed. Itsuka threw her straight punch right at Izuku's chest. Midoriya tried his best to block Kendo's punch, but failed and took a strong punch to the chest. Oh no, Izuku said in his head, her punches are even stronger than I thought. Izuku then threw a half-forced jab with his left hand, but Itsuka easily parried it with her right hand. She then used the same hand to punch Midoriya in the chest again. Itsuka then used her left leg to do a low kick on Midoriya. His leg took massive damage. Midoriya tried to perform a high kick to the face, but Itsuka easily blocked it. She then hit Midoriya again in the chest, with added even more damage to his chest. Any more damage and I wouldn't be able to move my hips, Midoriya said in his head. Izuku tried to perform one of the techniques Senshi taught him, but Itsuka used a high kick right on Midoriya's face. It was a powerful kick for a middle scholar, so strong that it made Izuku fall over on his back. It was on his back that Midoriya came to a realization. I know this feeling. It is the same feeling I had when Kaken used to bully me. It is the same feeling I had when I saw Chukriai. I'm being looked down on, Midoriya said in his head. Midoriya looked at Itsuka's face. He saw two things, anger and frustration. Midoriya now understands why. She knew he was holding back on her, and hated it. I wonder, has she gone through the same thing? Midoriya asked himself. I hated it when Kaken looked down on me. I hated it when Chukriai was looking down on me. And I hate it even now. Izuku was not listening to the countdown before. So right when the number reached 9, Izuku leaped out of his position. He instantly put on a karate stance, and had a deadly look in his eyes. I didn't think it was possible. However, from the look, Midoriya has unleashed his inner fury, Senshi said in his head. Itsuka saw her opponent take his stance and rightfully put on her own. So you're finally stopped seeing me as a girl. I am happy about that, but that does not mean you are going to win. I'm not a green belt at the strongest dojo in the world for no reason, Ituka said in her head. They did not move. They just stood still, preparing for the other's attack. Midoriya broke the stalemate, dashing towards the girl. Ituka responded by aiming a kick right towards Midoriya's face. However, Midoriya blocked it, and used a straight punch right into Itsuka's chest. That's a lot more power than I was expecting. This boy isn't holding out anymore, Ituka said in her head. Ituka then tried to perform a high kick at Izuku. However, Izuku performed one of the 3 techniques Senshi taught him. The technique brought shock to everyone watching the fight except Senshi. It was a Mawashi Yuke. They say those who've mastered Mawashi Yuke can even block fire, Oikakit said in his head. Even though he's an amateur, you've been teaching him an advanced move. I have to give you more respect now. Ituka dashed away from her opponent to gain distance. Izuku reacted by dashing towards the girl. Ituka was planning this. She prepared a right punch aimed towards Midoriya's chest. Ituka placed her left leg up front, and placed her right hand by her hip. When Midoriya entered into her range, Ituka unleashed her straight punch, only for her punch to miss entirely. This shocked everyone in the room with the exception of Midoriya and Senshi. The reason for this was that Izuku moved his knee to move Itsuka's knee, making her lose balance. Ituka started to lose her balance, and in that moment of struggle, Midoriya unleashed his final move. Izuku placed his hand 1 inch in between Itsuka's stomach. He quickly closed the gap with a powerful strike to the chest. Ituka had never felt such a strong attack before. It nearly took her down, however, she was still standing. I have never used this move before in a fight, only as spars. Be glad you will be the first to handle such a move, Ituka said in her head. She took a few paces back. This move needed precision to pull it off. Ituka is one of the few who could accurately pull off this move. Much to the surprise of Midoriya, Ituka leaped in the air. Her right leg was up high in the air. Now was coming down at an extremely fast speed. Midoriya raised both of his arms to block the upcoming kick. Not even a first-degree black belt can handle this kick, Ituka said in her head. Take this. Ituka brought down her leg and used a powerful kick. However, it was all for nothing. Midoriya's block had stayed strong, much to the confession to everyone. It's because I've been blocking Sensei's kicks that I'm used to handling kicks like these, Midoriya said in his head. Ituka fell to the ground, which allowed Midoriya to use his previous attack again. Izuku was close to Itsuka's stomach. He placed his right fist right to her stomach, which allowed him to use his special move again. Ituka could not take the full force of Midoriya's attack and fell to the ground. What the hell was that? Ituka asked. The 1-inch punch, a move developed by Bruce Lee himself. However, this version of the 1-inch punch is different from the one Bruce Lee made. This version requires close quarters range and a lot of strength to pull off. This version of the 1-inch punch is called Dragon Shot. The man who made this technique is Shina Senshi. So you've taught him one of your signature moves, Oikakit said in his head. Have you placed your faith that much in him? Ituka was still on the ground, trying to recover from the punch. However, time was running out for the orange-haired girl. The timer was currently on 6 seconds. 4 more seconds and she will have lost. Ituka tried to get up, but the dragon shot had damaged her too much. She tried using her elbows and knees to push her body up, but it did not have much effect. This has never happened to me before. So why is it happening now? Ituka asked herself. The count was now on the 8 seconds. Ituka could barely even stand on her feet. However, no matter how hard she tried, the orange-haired girl could not get up. Please, I can't lose now. Not in my father's dojo. Not in front of my father, anything but that, Ituka said in her head. However, despite her pleas, the count reached 10. Ituka Kendo had lost in her father's dojo. The whole karate organization was stunned. They had known Ituka ever since she started when she was 10. Despite having the potential to be a black belt, Ituka had worked her way up the ranks, being undefeated no matter whom she fought. Now that all changed. A boy who as she thought was weak and was barely able to handle Ituka at first had just beaten her with ease. Midoriya has also been able to control his inner rage. A lot better than me, Senshi said in his head. Much to Itsuka's dismay, Izuku was the winner. The dark look in Midoriya's eyes was long gone, and Midoriya looked very normal as if nothing has happened to him. Well done, Midoriya, you did extremely well, Senshi said. However, Midoriya was barely paying attention. Instead, he was thinking back to when he fought Ituka. What was that? Izuku asked himself. Senshi noticed a puzzled look on Midoriya's face. If you're wondering what that was, I'll explain later. But now you need to watch, Senshi said as he walked away. His teacher's words confused Midoriya. He then noticed Ituka walk over to him. That was a good match, Ituka said as she held out her hand. Izuku gladly shook the girl's hand. Looks like they made up, that's good, Oikakit said. Now you promised me something important, and you will not leave until you fulfill your promise. The karate master confused Midoriya and the whole dojo. Sensei, what does he mean? Izuku asked. I heard someone once say that for a student to learn, they must see the full power of their teacher. Senshi said. I heard the same thing. Oikakit said as he tightens his gi. To make things fair, you can make any rule you want. The words shocked everyone watching, with the exception of Midoriya. I don't understand, what's going on? Midoriya asked. I've only seen my father act like this on a special occasion. Itsuka said. That occasion is when he is going to fight. Fight. Izuku yelled in his head. I've never seen Sensei fight before. Well, he did have that little encounter with Kaken, but you could barely can that a fight. Izuku put his hand to his mouth. Now I really want to see this fight, Izuku said in his head. You won't mind if I get comfortable? I really don't want to be at a disadvantage. Senshi asked. No, not at all. Oikakit replied. It would be a shame for an opponent with a disadvantage. Senshi then took off his shirt, and what was underneath shocked the whole dojo, including Midoriya. Scars covered the man's whole body. Some had attached across his entire back, while others were as small as hair. The scars themselves that terrified the members of the dojo. It was the amount of them. There was part of his body that did not contain a scar. Somehow, this made the man appear even bigger than before. That was all without addressing his physique. His body was beyond anything a human should be capable of doing. If his size was no evidence of his strength, then his muscles definitely gave it away. The man's muscles looked as thick as tree. It's like, I'm staring at a demon, Izuku said in his head. I knew Sensei was strong, but now I wonder just how powerful he is. However, that was not on Oikakit's mind. Are you wearing weights? Wouldn't that bring you down? Oikakit asked. Senshi then moved his arm to his face. Good observation. I have been wearing them for so long that I have forgotten that I even wear them. But do not worry, I will only take them off if you prove yourself worthy. Senshi replied. During this conversation, Oikakit was going through a mental dilemma. I'm scared, staring at him now. It looks like it's the gates of hell, Oikakit said in his head. I wonder if this is how Dante felt when he came to hell? You've gotten a lot stronger since we last met Senshi. Despite his fears, Oikakit put on his fighting stance, with his right hand out and his left hand positioned near his heart. He then placed his right leg put and his left leg inside. This was Oikakit's special fighting position that he made just for himself. No one else in the world can use this fighting stance. Senshi then put on the exact same fighting stance. With the exception of Oikakit, everyone in the room was shocked tremendously. Itsuka grabbed Midoriya by the shirt and brought him to her. Midoriya explains that. Itsuka yelled while pointing to his sensei. I don't know, I've never seen this before. Midoriya replied. From the way he said it, and with his body language, it was clear to Itsuka that he was telling the truth. She released the boy and sat down right next to him. Well, might as well watch this then, Itsuka said. Izuku positioned himself firmly, trying to ignore the fact that a girl is sitting next to him. So when do you begin? Oikakit asked. Whenever you're ready, Senshi replied. There was an uneasy feeling in the air, like when two cowboys are in a duel. No one knew what was going to happen or whose strike was first. Even the ones watching were sweating in anticipation. Oikakit started the match. He dashed towards Senshi, going so fast that he even broke the floor. Oikakit then shifted his right hand into a fist and swung towards Senshi's head. The karate master was so fast that he did all of this in 1 second. Despite the quick time and speed it took Oikakit to accomplish this, Senshi was still faster. He moved his left hand to block the blow to his head. However, Senshi still took the full force of the blow. He lost his balance, and was standing on only his right leg. Oikakit used this chance to strike Senshi again. However, Senshi was faster than the karate master was. Oikakit tried to perform a right chop towards Senshi's neck, but Senshi grabbed Oikakit's right arm, punched him in the gut with his left hand. Ware! Senshi yelled as he punched Oikakit. Oikakit was thrown back and then landed on his feet. As I thought, this won't be an easy fight. I will have to use every technique I have to beat him. Then I can challenge my father, Oikakit said in his head. Senshi put on Oikakit's stance once again, putting on more defense than before. Senshi slowly got closer to Oikakit, who was starting to recover from Senshi's punch. Oikakit got up and tightened his gi once again. Oikakit put on his usual stance, but this time was more of an attacking position. My father is more on the defensive when fighting an opponent. Is this man that strong, or does my father wants to end this fight very quickly? Itsuka asked herself. Oikakit rushed again to Senshi, this time with a left punch, instead of a right. Senshi moved his hands to block Oikakit's oncoming punch. However, he was shocked to discover that the karate master was not going to use a punch, but a far more dangerous move. Devil Lance, Oikakit yelled in his head. His right fingers came together to form a hand gesture resembling a spear. Oikaki aimed this attack right towards Senshi's chest, but luckily, for the black-haired man, he was able to dodge that move. Ituka was stunned. I've never seen that technique before. Why is my father using it now? Senshi was also wondering about Oikaki's technique. Why is he using that technique? I have never seen he use it, but I do know his father uses it. If he's just as good or nearly as good, then this will be a hard time than I thought, Senshi said in his head. Oikaki then turned around to face his opponent. His right hand became a fist, and he lunged at Senshi. Oikaki raised his leg and brought it down on the Senshi. Senshi dodged it by dashing backward away. I can't just use karate anymore. It's been so long, but now I have to use that style, Senshi said in his head. His stance changed. He moved into his left hand into an L shape and put it in front of himself. Senshi then moved his right hand into. I don't understand. It looks like Sensei has gotten into a harder defense, but it looks like he has gotten softer, Izuka said in his head. So you're using that style now? Unfortunately for you, I already have counters against you, Oikaki said in his head. Oikaki went into his natural fighting stance before dashing towards Senshi once again. However, Senshi stood his ground. However, once Oikaki threw a left punch, he was suddenly in the air, with his head pointing towards the ground. Senshi's left hand was holding on to Oikaki's left hand. Oikaki quickly adjusted to the fact that he was in the air and threw a right kick towards Senshi's head. Senshi immediately blocked by moving his free arm in front of Oikaki's kick. Despite Oikaki having a kick powerful enough to destroy concrete, Senshi's arm came out only with a little bruise. Is his arm so strong that it can withstand my father's kick? If not, then there must secret behind this, Ituka said in her head. Oikaki had more than one trick up his sleeve. He then tried to launch a left knee towards Senshi's face, which connected. Blood came out of Senshi's nose as his head went back. His grip was broken and Oikaki landed on the ground. His right hand then shifted and became larger and thicker. Ituka Kendo, quirk, stronger hands. He can make his hands deal more 2x damage. As a side effect, it will grow a few inches bigger. Oikaki then brought down a right chop towards Senshi's shoulder. Senshi felt his shoulder bone break instantly by the attack. This caused Senshi to fall to the ground. Oikaki saw his change and brought down another right chop aimed at Senshi's neck. This is the same move I used to kill a tiger, Oikaki said in his head. Can you handle it, King? This is it. I have seen many opponents fall to this move. Even some pro heroes can't even handle this move, Ituka said in her head. A simile appeared on her head. Oikaki's hand was close to Senshi's neck when, boom, a loud noise exploded, causing some eardrums to burst. Oikaki was also sent flying and crashed into the wall behind him. Senshi, on the other hand, was perfectly fine. Senshi was currently kneeling on one leg and his right fist was out. Smoke was emitting from his fist. Upon closer inspection, his training weight on his right arm was off. Most people think strength is what I'm best at. I do not blame them. What they don't know is that my greatest weapon is speed, Senshi said. He got up and walked over to Oikaki. Oikaki was currently lying down on what remains of the wall covering the storage closet. There was also blood coming off his head. Do you wish to continue? Senshi asked Oikaki. Oikaki got up and stared Senshi in the eye. Nah, I'm good, Oikaki blankly responded. Are you sure? I believe you can still go on. I mean, you did break my shoulder, Senshi stated. I'm sure. If I continue now, we may break more than a few bones. I want to go home and kiss my wife, Oikaki replied with a small laugh. That makes sense, Senshi said. He then looked at his watch. I'd better get going. I have a meeting to attend, Senshi said. Go ahead, I have nothing against it, Oikaki replied. Come on, Midoriya, Senshi said as walked to the elevator. Midoriya got up and ran to his teacher. Well, what can I say? I mean, you are the king of fight dash. Oikaki could not finish his sentence. Senshi, in less than a second, dashed to Oikaki and threw a full-powered punch right towards Oikaki's face. However, he stopped right in front of Oikaki's face, who barely even noticed the punch coming. A gush of wind blew on Oikaki's face, indicating how fast Senshi was. Never say that to me again, Senshi inhumanly growled. Everyone in the room had shivers down their spines, especially Midoriya. What's got over him? Izuka wondered. I've never seen Sensei like this. Senshi then walked away from the shocked karate master. Let's go, Midoriya, Senshi angrily said. Midoriya followed him in a sacred state. Once they entered the elevator, the tension in the room died down. I didn't think it would be that big of a deal, Oikaki blankly said. Should we go after them? Ituka mumbled, still shocked after the whole experience. It is best that we do not. That man has personal problems. Ones that we don't know of, Oikakit replied. Outside, Senshi and Midoriya were walking away from the dojo, with no clear direction. Senshi was walking with an angry pace while Midoriya was walking behind him. God damn it, why did I do that? Senshi asked himself. I put on a bad example for Midoriya and probably scared him as well. Senshi turned around and saw Midoriya shaking, not even wanting to look at his teacher. What teacher would I be if I let something like this happen to my student? If my sensei was here, he would be me with a stick, Senshi said in his head. He turned around to face his young student. I'm sorry for acting like that, Senshi said spa as he bowed his head to his student. Midoriya was even more confused by his teacher's actions. First, there was that whole incident in the dojo, and now this. Why did you do it? Midoriya asked. Senshi hesitated before answering. There is a past to me that I don't cherish, a past that I wish to be forgotten. Midoriya understood what his mentor was saying. He hated the time when Bakugo and others picked on him. However, Midoriya had a feeling that his past was very different from his teacher's. If you want, I can make it up to you, Senshi said. His head was still bowed down to his student. All right, let's have some ice cream, Midoriya said, trying to uplift the mood. Back to the dojo, Ituka was putting on her shoes. She was already wearing normal clothes and was ready to go home. Hello, Kendo. Are you all right? A grown woman, already dressed, asked. The grown woman had black hair, 5 feet tall, and had a muscular body. I'm fine, Tomodachi, Ituka replied. Tomodachi was another student in the dojo. She was an active member, and had even become a 5th-degree black belt. She also had supported Ituka ever since she first joined. Your dad said he had to observe the damage done to the wall before going home, Tomodachi explained to Ituka. Thanks, I was wondering what was taking him so long, Ituka replied. He also said I can walk you home. You don't have a problem with that? Tomodachi asked. No, that's perfectly fine, Ituka responded. The duo walked down a street together. I heard what happened. Are you sure that you're all right? Tomodachi asked. Yeah, I'm fine, Ituka said, but it was clear something was wrong. Come on, Kendo, are we not friends? You can tell me, Tomodachi said. Ituka had a face full of doubt before answering. Well, you heard that I lost to a boy, right? You have a crush on him, Tomodachi assumed. What? Ituka yelled out. That's not it. However, despite her pleas, a blush formed on Itsuka's face. Do not lie to me. You would never talk about a boy if it wasn't for that reason, Tomodachi replied. We talk about that Cherky boy and you never say anything, Ituka replied. Yes, but you never had a blush on your face when you talk about him, Tomodachi replied. I still do not. I just think that he looks a little cute and dash. Ituka stopped herself once she realized what she was saying. Haha. I can't wait to tell your dad, Tomodachi said. No, wait, please don't tell Dad, Ituka pleaded. Back to Midoriya. Hey, Midoriya, Senshi said, causing his student to turn to him. Ituka likes you, PFFT. Midoriya went as if his ice cream in his mouth went flying. That isn't funny, Sensei, Midoriya cried out. I'm not joking, Senshi said. In fact, I'm dead serious. Oh no, Midoriya mumbled. What's wrong? Senshi asked. If her father hears about this, he might kill me, Midoriya mumbled. Do not worry about her father, I can handle him. It's her grandfather you need to worry about, Senshi said. Midoriya turned to his teacher in confusion. What about her grandfather? Ituka asked. Well, to put it simply, her grandfather is the strongest karate master in the world, Senshi explained. His strikes can pierce through boulders. Rumors say that he can predict the moves of his opponent even before they do. He has battled countless foes, some that said they could topple gods. Moreover, from what I have heard, despite being in his 60s, he remains undefeated. I think he could defeat me at full strength. That's how strong Kuroki Gensai is. Midoriya was amazed. He knew that there were many strong people in the world. Heck, his sensei is one of them. However, he had a feeling that Kuroki Gensai was somehow more powerful than what his sensei was telling him. Have you ever met him? Ituka asked. Once, and there were 2 things that stood out about him. His intimidating aura and something I wasn't expecting, Senshi said. What was that? Midoriya asked again, dying of curiosity. He had an astonishing beard, Senshi yelled out. Midoriya had a deadpan expression. I thought it was something serious, Ituka said in his head, but that was just silly. I wish I could show it to you. It really is a sight to behold, Senshi seriously said. Actually, I have another question. If Gensai is Kendo's grandfather, then why doesn't she have his last name? Ituka asked. That's a very good question, Midoriya. There is a very important reason for that, Senshi said as he began to tell a story. Flashback. Out of curiosity, I have to ask before I beat you till Kingdom Come. Why is your last name Kendo? A younger Senshi asked as he stood above a bleeding Oikakit. If your father is so strong, why don't you have his name? There's a good reason for that. Oikiki mumbled. He smiled, showing bloody spots where teeth should have been. It's my mother's name. I'm not as strong as my father yet, so until I beat him I will use my mother's name, back to the present, and that's the reason why. Senshi explained. I think he's leaving some parts out, Izuku said in his head. I have another question. When I was fighting Kendo, I felt strange. It felt like someone else was fighting for me. Izuku wondered. There's a good reason for that. Do you know that little voice inside your head telling you to do bad things? Imagine that voice taking over and fighting for you. Senshi explained. That's basically what it is. It is not a physical boost, more like a mental one. It's a rare technique that most people haven't even seen, let alone heard of. So how did I unlock it? Izuku asked. Well, it usually comes from intense anger. Although it offers no additional power, it allows fighters to use all of their strength, without holding back. This technique is called inner rage, Senshi explained. So if I use inner rage more often then I will get stronger, Izuku said with a happy tone. However, he then felt a sharp cool presence down his neck. Turning around he saw his teacher giving him an angry look. Don't, his mentor said. Why? Izuku nervously asked. Inner rage is not a move you should use often. I gave the benefit of using it once, but that is it. Most people that use it suffer horrible fates, Senshi said. Remember this Midoriya, if you stare at the abyss look enough, the abyss stares back. Midoriya was even more nervous than before. I'm sorry, Midoriya mumbled. Don't be, you didn't know, so there's no reason for you to be sorry, Senshi said. Any more questions you have for me? Yes, why were copying Mr. Kendo's moves and stance when you fought him? Midoriya asked. Well, back when I was beginning to learn martial arts, all I did was copy my opponents. It thought it would be cool to defeat my opponents using their style. However, as time went on, I realized something about my style. Not only could I use my opponent's strengths against them, but I could also figure out their weakness. Then I combined two styles together, and made a completely new style. Then combined two completely different styles into one style for one opponent, then another style for another opponent, and so on and so on. That sounds amazing, Midoriya committed. It was, but my style had three major weaknesses. One, it could not mimic styles based on one's body. Say someone is small, so I cannot mimic that style since I am tall. Another weakness is that it cannot mimic styles that revolve around one's quirks. Since I cannot copy quirks, then I cannot mimic that style either. The final weakness is that it takes a longer time for me to attack. With so many options to attack, there was often a delay in my attacks. Despite all of this, my style was unique. It even had a cool name. What was the name? Midoriya asked. Well, most people call it the formless style. However, its real name is all for all style, Senshi proudly said. I think formless style is a better name anyway, Midoriya committed. Well, I invented it, so I name it, Senshi yelled. Why did you name it all for all style then? Izuku asked in a nervous tone. Senshi calmed down and answered his student's question. Well, there are two reasons for that. One, it is short for all styles against all opponents. I thought it was a cool phrase and one that fitted my style. Another reason was to give respect to a friend I hold dear to my heart, somewhere else. Cho. A skinny blood man sneezed at full force. Maybe someone is talking about me, he said in his head. The man was currently leaving a massive skyscraper, with a famous hero's name on it. You know, I wonder where Shinu is doing now, the man said in his head. HHHH, it's a villain, a woman yelled. The man transformed into a mighty being of massive strength. Do not worry, because I am here, the man yelled as he engaged the villain. You would have liked him, Senshi said. Unfortunately, we had a falling out. One final question, why did get angry at Mr. Kendo? Izuku asked. Senshi looked down at the ground. His face was full of both guilt and sadness. He then got up from his sitting position and said a statement that would haunt Midoriya to the day he died. There is a world of monsters, a world where the average humans cannot survive. In this world, only the strongest can rule. It is a terrible world, one where I used to live. I once ruled that world. However, I left that world a long time ago, for good reason. I want to stay away from that world, and I hope you stay as far away from it as you could. Midoriya did not know how to comprehend his teacher's words. Was there a place that dangerous? Why did Sensei leave? Was there anything else that he was hiding? All these questions and more boggled Izuku's mind. On to a more important matter. I think you have comprehended striking martial arts, so now we should try grappling. However, which one should we do? You're too small for wrestling. I am not good with jiu-jitsu and the Gracie family hates me. Oh, I know. The last part Senshi nearly yelled out. Placing a hand on Izuku's shoulder, Senshi said. I'm going to teach you the Nico style. The what? Wow, legends, what a ride! Deku's training with the King of Fighting is just getting started, and it's already off the charts. A huge thanks to Hero Lover 27 for crafting this awesome story. You're the real MVP, and to all my amazing legends out there, your support means the world to me. Don't forget to hit that like button, drop a comment below with your thoughts, and share this video with your friends. Make sure you're subscribed and hit the bell icon so you don't miss part 2. Until next time, stay legendary.